Welcome to the Gaelan Trombley Show. You can find me on Facebook at Gaelan Trombley, on Instagram at Gaelan Trombley, and on YouTube at Gaelan Trombley. Spelling Gaelantrombley. Enjoy the show. On episode 39 of the Gaelan Trombley Show, I have Zack Hoyt. He is co-owner of Spar-Kil-Kleen here in Plattsburgh with his wife, Katie. We go into a whole bunch of things. We had a good talk about the outdoor wildlife, his active, BHA. He'll explain what that is. First time I've heard of it, but he explains it, and it's something that he's passionate about. We also talk about their cleaning business, like I said before, Spar-Kil-Kleen. We also talk about how me and him are trying to fight the dadbod and a lot of other fun stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy episode 39 of the Gaelan Trombley Show. Welcome to the Gaelan Trombley Show. Welcome to episode 39 of the Gaelan Trombley Show. My guest tonight is Zack Hoyt. He is the co-owner of Spar-Kil-Kleen. They are a local cleaning company in the North Country, and I met Zack and his wife Katie, I believe, at an after-hours event. And I think we just I remember where we were. I think we were at Plattsburgh Brewing Company, and I think we ran into each other kind of on the side. Probably was one of your first times at the event, and I think we, like I said, kind of being a younger couple, we kind of hit it off a little bit, and now I know you're involved with 80KYP, and you know, obviously this is kind of a new startup company for you. I say new, it's you're coming back into it, I guess. And so welcome to the show.
Thank you,
Mr. Zack. So anybody that does not know you, give them a little background on how you became 2019 Zack Hoyt.
2019 Zack Hoyt. That's a long road.
How old are you?
30.
All right. Oh, what, 89 or 90 or 88?
88. Okay. October of 88. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, essentially, had a long road of company management for a security company. Became a correction officer, and my family owned a cleaning business since 1981 in Middletown, New York, and they decided that they were essentially done with it. My uncle passed away when they were under operation, and there was really nobody left. The kids weren't interested. And in 2010, Katie and I formed a partnership and decided to bring it up here. Started slow. Started with auto and boat detailing, as I was working full-time as a correction officer at that time. And then slowly added residential commercial properties again and floor finishing, and just slowly went back into a full service.
So it was 2010?
Yeah, 2010.
When did you guys meet?
When we were 15.
And you got married?
Got married in 2012.
So what's the math on that? 22, 23?
Actually, no, I lied. No, we did get married in 2012.
Wow,
September
okay.
29th, 2012.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Okay, so you guys have been doing this since 2010.
2010.
But you just took, I mean, I know you were You were a CO.
Yep.
And then you got out of that to go into the cleaning business.
Essentially, yeah.
Like you I guess you transferred from full-time.
Yeah, so we were
from
part-time.
half-part and full-time, yeah.
Yeah, we were just running it part-time, on the weekends or after hours when I wasn't, working at the prison. And then we had to make the jump,
What did Katie do before?
She was a dental technician.
Really? Okay.
Prior to that, she worked as a teacher's aide, as CV tech for a little while. But she spent 6 years at High Peak Dental.
Wow, okay. So what caused you guys to switch? Because obviously you went from, this is something I fully understand, is you went from a CO job, which is fairly much a guaranteed paycheck, good benefits, things like that. Same thing with Katie. She had a job. She was an employee. She had the probably 9 to 5 or 8 to 3 or whatever, 8 to 4, whatever her job was. And so that was kind of a very safe, cushiony, I say cushion, but like you were comfortable. You knew your budget, everything else. Then you guys took the leap of faith into owning your own business, which is, for anybody that's part of that, can be an absolute shit show.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good, but there's a lot of bad, a lot of headaches, a lot of long hours. But what caused you guys to make that jump?
So our daughter was born in 2015. Prior to that, I always had the admiration, if you will, of owning your own business, being your own boss, being able to write your ticket, whatever way you want to look at it. there's no self-satisfaction in being a correction officer 95% of the time. And I'd say if anybody told you otherwise, you're probably lying, because you can't see what you've done in an 8 or 16-hour shift a lot of time, other than keep your fellow officers safe a lot of times, or stop an incident from occurring or something like that. There's no before and after, if you will. So I was always looking for that. There's always a gap, in my personality. I kind of like to have that feedback. And Katie she's pretty passionate about being a dental technician, I think. But just the flexibility once we had our daughter, it was just amazing. But having that security, as long as there's not a government shutdown, I was going to get a paycheck. Mm-hmm. I went through 2 of those. That was kind of rough. It was an eye-opener.
So did you guys switch out of more like you wanted to, meaning you wanted to be your own boss, things like that? Or did you switch, like when you switched or went full-time, did you have the amount of people that you knew you'd be comfortable full-time, or is that kind of a gamble too?
That was a gamble. That was 100% a gamble.
So it wasn't like you guys were like swamped with work and were like, man, we just can't get people in, so we got to go full-time and we'll be able to fill it? Or
we had ourselves set up. We were steady before we did the dedicated launch, to full-time. But it wasn't a guarantee, like you said. I mean, first of all, when you're working in the residential market, I have a feeling like you're probably more of a luxury than you are a necessity a lot of times.
Yeah.
So economic downturns, you're the first thing to go. Kid needs braces, probably the first thing to go. So it just, it's not a guarantee, but then there's really no target market in the cleaning industry, I don't feel, because you work for such a wide range of people. You never know who's actually looking for your work, because you can have somebody that may be considered lower income that may budget for you.
Well, I always found, like, you guys obviously do residential cleaning.
Yeah.
So we have a lady since I moved in with my wife, she always had a cleaning lady. I've known her for 5 years now, or my wife, and she had a cleaning lady, which was odd for me because when I grew up, we never had a cleaning lady. Part of it was my mom was just like, made sure the house was clean. I don't think she wanted someone else to clean. We were the cleaners. I did a lot of cleaning back in the day. So then when my wife had a cleaning lady, I was like, why are you paying like you don't do your own stuff? Well, part of it was she had a massage therapist business, so she had people coming to it was almost like an office. It was home and office semi, because she had everything cleaned. And I'll tell you, one of the best things money wise, and I think about it now. One, I don't want to do it. Like, I'm always looking. This is like my big thing right now is time. Like I had someone came the other day, and it was a company that comes and does furniture and office supplies and things like that. And I told him, I said, listen, if you guys are going to do this, I'll buy it, because it saves me from leaving the office to drive to get it, or make a special trip, or park at Target to go get something. I'm like, my thing right now, I've gotten to the point where time is my most valuable asset. And I know it's everybody's most valuable asset, but I'm getting to the point where if I can somehow squeak out another 20 minutes or a half hour in my day, that is so huge, where that could be me running an errand. Like today was one of the happens like once every 2 weeks, maybe I can come to the office and never have to leave the office. Meaning I didn't have an out of office appointment today. Now I had 4 appointments today, but they were all within here, which is nice. I saved all the drive time. I ate lunch in here today. It was a great day, but it's a time factor. So our cleaning lady saves me time on the weekends, because when I'm home, I want to hang out with the kids. I don't want to sit there and spend 2 to 3 hours trying to clean and mop and dust and everything else. So I think for you guys, and I think a lot of the service industries, is saving people time is way more valuable to the end consumer than maybe even a fully clean house. Like I think I was kind of rushing you guys through the other day. You guys were doing the windows here, and I was like, just make it look semi-decent, because I don't have to do it. Like, it's saving me the time. And I said it was obviously going to rain too, so I want to make sure you guys didn't finish the gig. But do you find that with a lot of people that a lot of people do it for more of a time factor? Do they do it more from the professional aspect of they know it's going to be done better, or do they do it because they just are lazy and don't want to do it?
I think all three. I mean,
mixture.
I've worked for a lot of different people. Like a lot of people we work for might be retired. They might just want to not have to touch their home. Mm-hmm. They have themselves set up. They're comfortable in their retirement, and that's something they don't want to have to do every day, or once a week, or once every 2 weeks, and they rather be off enjoying themselves, enjoying their retirement. Mm-hmm. Or then you'll have somebody that, like yourself, you're a business owner and you're busy. Mm-hmm. Your time's valuable. So does it pay to sit there and clean your own home, or is it more productive in your life to enjoy your quality time with your family and then spend the time you have at work?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a juggle, I guess. It just depends on everybody's needs, and that's why we tailor each solution to the client's needs, I guess.
Yeah. So what do you guys think right now? Residential, commercial? What's the split roughly?
60-40, I would say. 60-40
Towards
commercial side.
So you guys are more commercial.
More commercial.
Well,
I would say that's based on revenue. The number of clients I have are probably far outweighing the residential market.
Gotcha. And for commercial properties, do you find that you do those more often? Meaning like businesses, or do you find that homes you go in more frequently?
No, I'd definitely say it's commercial because I'm in, commercial contracts 3 days a week, 4 days a week, every day sometimes. Just depends. Sometimes twice a week. Just depends on the office or the
And also for you guys, like I kind of was, before the podcast started, we were talking about what's like a normal day for you. So like the normal day, typically, like you said, businesses obviously are mostly after hours. So you work in the evenings. Do you guys work on the weekends at all? Or is it just more by necessity, like appointment only if you really had to?
If we have to. We have contracts that are serviced on the weekends. I think it's a quality of life move. We don't advertise that we work every weekend, but we will work weekends. It's a necessity in the job, unfortunately. But
yeah, and well, it's kind of like, I think we're very similar in that aspect. Like you have to be there when people aren't there, and I have to be available when people are there. So like evenings for me a lot of times are big showings because people work till 4 or 5, and that's the only time they can go see a property, or the weekend. So but at the end of the day, you might run out for an appointment here and there, and to me, if I work a couple hours on the Saturday morning or Sunday morning and I get the rest of the day, I'm fine. Because the luxury is I can take a Wednesday off and hang out and do something else if I had to, because I can make that schedule. So when do you guys normally start in a day?
Well, you know what it's like owning your own business. So I'd say like this morning, I'll give you just an idea. I started at I do some physical activity at some point in the morning, and then right around 10 o'clock, I started office work, and by 1:30. I was at my first residential contract for the day. That rolled into 2:45, had a 3 o'clock estimate. After the 3 o'clock estimate, I had a 3:45 commercial clean. After that clean, we had another commercial clean, and then I broke off, and I'm here with you now, and the crew's still working. They have 2 more to do.
So what time will they end tonight, roughly?
Tonight, probably about 9:45.
Okay, because I know when you guys... was this the worst place you cleaned?
No.
It wasn't that bad?
Not even
really?
Shot in the dark on that, yeah.
What's the worst place you've ever cleaned? Was it just like I'm assuming it was like a vacated home.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. I would have to say the worst. There's different degrees of worst.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so the dirtiest place I've ever cleaned was probably just a low-income house that had been vacant for a long time, and it was left dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was really
Did you have animals living in there?
Yeah, there's animals, smells. I mean, there's stuff on shower walls that shouldn't have been there.
I've been in some nasty homes. I think I always find it funny. I go into a house and people will be like, well, don't, can you overlook? And I'm like, I'm telling you right now, whatever you think's bad, I've seen 1,000 times worse, and that's not an exaggeration. So it's got to be really bad for me to say. And sometimes I go into some homes like that, and the clients, oh my God, this bad. I'm like, yeah, this actually is bad. I've been in a lot. This is the bottom 1%. But like some of the stuff that I've seen is obviously like some kind of creepy things. I've seen a skunk and a sump pump, and I've seen just homes that just smell awful. You walk in. I've seen homes you walk in, they're covered in mold. I've seen houses that are just covered in just like a musty old dirt smell. I think the worst is like when you walk on carpet and you can like see the dust coming off the carpet is probably the worst.
I've seen that too. That's like that dry. I don't even know if that's like concrete dust or salt coming out of
it. Yeah, it almost, you're right. It almost looks like, there was probably some kind of concrete because it's fairly thick, and I'm like, there's no way normal dust would be that. Like I've seen dust, and dust is kind of usually like a less dense product, I guess. And when you get concrete, you can pick it up. It's almost like clay.
You can hold. It's like a silk. Like you can hold it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like sand. And
put your beater bar in your vacuum across it, and it comes flying out of the rug because it can't keep up.
So when I guess so you guys have always been part of the cleaning industry?
Yeah, essentially. I grew up around it. Katie wasn't. but I was. My father was in the military growing up, and he had the opportunity with his reserve unit. He used to go down and teach at West Point a couple weeks out of the summer, and I would always go down, or we'd just go down and visit his side of the family. They ran the business when I was a kid, so I was exposed to it relatively young.
Did you work in it? All the way through, like through high school, things like that?
Essentially, yeah. Like I would go down and visit my grandfather, and he worked the same shift that I'm now working, so it was time to spend with him was essentially why he was out doing the an hour outside of New York City in Middletown, New York.
Yep, I've been there a few times.
Park and rides. So that was a big contract for us, was the park and rides.
Did you so when you took over the business, this is a business from Middletown?
Essentially, yeah, it's from Middletown, New
Okay,
York.
so this was not like when you were up here in high school. There wasn't like a Spar-Kil-Kleen locally.
No, nothing up here at all.
So this hasn't actually been up here until 2010.
Since 2010, it was brought up here.
Gotcha. So you've been to West Point?
I have.
Yeah, it's beautiful. My cousin went there. He's our age, but he graduated from there as a cadet, and we went down a few times, and it's a really pretty campus.
Yeah, it's wicked nice. You ever seen the Ranger Wall? I don't know if it's a Ranger
Maybe.
Wall. I think it's what they use for their JROTC. You ever seen them rappelling off the wall on the way up to the
Oh
front
yeah,
gate? You see what I'm
yes,
talking about?
yes.
It's like, what do they call it? The Courage Cliff?
Is that what they call it?
I don't know what they have, but there's a big sign up there. I remember it. I was young, but it was really cool watching them, rappel off of it.
I remember that. I remember they do a lot of like weird things. I mean, you see them like running and doing like that kind of stuff here and there, but you see them do drills and run drills.
Yeah.
And I went down to a football game and where they had the tailgating, there was a bunch of just like free range pull-up bars and dip bars and things like that. So obviously they're running around. My cousin played soccer too, so the soccer stadium is way down, kind of near the water and the train tracks. And then you work your way back up, and then like obviously had the main quad and the buildings, and it's a really cool campus. Like all the stonework on there is really nice.
Beautiful.
And yeah, and have you ever driven on or rode on the train to go by it?
No.
So if you take like Rensselaer and go down the city, it follows the east side of the Hudson. So basically, if you're going down the Hudson River, it's on your right side. And if you sit there and like look up, I mean, West Point is on top of a mountain at the very like point of, I say mountain, but it's on the top of a cliff pointing north on the Saranac River. The reason being, obviously, is because back in the day, being high up was a tactical advantage in war.
Absolutely.
So West Point was probably the best spot you could say, hey, we're going to put the military academy of the United States. And it's really cool because I don't even know, I'm assuming it started like 1775, something like that. And
Been there a while.
Whenever the U.S. Army, I'm guessing, is the same year. And it's cool when you walk through the campus and you see the names on there. Like Robert E. Lee, I think, went there, who was obviously the general of the Civil War. So he wasn't fighting for the same side. But all these guys went, Eisenhower, Ulysses Grant. Like all these guys are old cadets and Thayer. So it's kind of cool to go down and see like the history of it.
There's a lot of American history came to that place, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's crazy how it's right there. Like when my cousin graduated, it was pretty cool. They had at the time, Joe Biden was the vice president of the United States, like the acting vice president. He did the commencement address, which is kind of cool because that's the only speech I've ever heard from like a major politician. I've actually seen 4 presidents, which is odd because I never saw any of the presidents actually in Washington D.C. Just
You've
randomly.
never seen him?
No, I saw Bush Senior, H.W. Bush on his boat in Kennebunkport, Maine.
What are the chances?
Well, like that's where
he lives there.
That's where they live. But like I remember going and we drove by and they're like, oh yeah, this is like the Bush compound or something. And he was on his boat, and right behind him was a black boat, which is the Secret Service boat.
Just hanging out.
Just driving. And then I ended up seeing Bill Clinton on the golf course.
Up here?
No, down in Florida. I was playing on a golf course. And I remember them telling us, there's a VIP here. And we're like, okay. Like, what?
Important people are all over, right?
Yeah, some like celebrity. And all of a sudden we catch wind that it's Bill Clinton. Well, then all of a sudden we're sitting there, we're done our round, we're sitting on the table, and he comes driving up in his cart. And no, he's not driving. Another guy's driving. But it's funny because all of a sudden you'll see like he's coming up the fairway and you see like these ground crew guys. They're all Secret Service. They're dressed as grounds crew.
Oh yeah.
So and they're spraying the water. And then a couple years ago I went to the President's Cup, which is a golf tournament down just outside New York City. And Clinton, W. Bush and Obama all came out for the start of the tee thing.
All at the same time.
Well, they all came out and sat down as the guys teed off to start the round. So I'm like me to the train tracks away from the three of the presidents, and then Trump came and gave out the trophy at the end of the round on Sunday, which we had already left prior to that, so we didn't see him. So otherwise, I would have saw 5 presidents. But it was kind of cool. I'm not a big I hate politics, but I still value the office of the president as being like a very cool position. And obviously the history, I always learned about the presidents and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to actually personally see 4 of them in person, which I just thought, it's kind of neat.
It is.
You see them so many times on TV and everything else, and you just kind of watch them down there, and they're pretty funny. All the players were hanging out with the players, and it was always kind of a good time. But
they're people too. I mean, a lot of people think that they're just
like robots,
but they really do. They're people. They have personality.
I'll tell you, George W. was a character, wild. Shaking hands, like he would go up to every player, and his arm was whipping like this and slapping guys on the back, and it was kind of funny to see them like out of their element because they're at a golf tournament. It's not give a speech.
Remember, where was I? I think we were up in Maine. I think we were just driving through Kennebunkport, and we stopped, and like you can stop like right across from where he lives.
Yeah, it's just like the highway or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like the highway right there, and I did that, but he was out there like in the lawn, and I was like standing there, and like you said, there's somebody that's pretending to be a tourist, and all of a sudden I look up and he's got
oh yeah,
the bud in his ear. And
we got to think
on a gate. I mean,
you got to think anybody could come up on that road.
Anybody.
I mean, like a crazy person, obviously, because you can see the people. It's not like, and to be honest, it's probably no more than us to the lake away.
No, not at all. It's close.
It's very.
I mean, they have to keep pretty tight wraps on that. You would, in this day and age,
I think they get Secret Service for life, I believe.
Yeah,
if you're
I think their kids do too.
Oh, you're probably right. I wonder if, like, politicians, you get, like, people that run for politics or hire... I don't think they would have Secret Service for life. Like, if you run for... Like, take, like, a Hillary Clinton. She, obviously, because she was First Lady at one point, but take like, John McCain, who ran and lost. Like, I don't think he would ever have gotten Secret Service. He probably did when he was running for president, but then, like, once he lost, they're probably like, all right, like, we'll see you.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, like, nobody gives...
I'm sure if he had, like, a threat or something that was because of it, I'm sure they would offer him the detail. But.
Yeah. No, it's kind of cool. It's I've never been... I've been to Washington once, but I'd like to go back down just because I think there's so much history down there, but I think it would be cool. Actually, last episode I had Mike Cashman on, and he talked about doing the honor flight. Have you ever been to that, the send-off?
Yeah, so my grandfather actually flew an honor flight, and so did my uncle, yeah.
Sure. As, like, a veteran?
Yeah.
I've never... Did you go as a Guardian?
I did not. So it's kind of funny how it worked out. My grandfather's brother, my grandfather was in Korea. Mm-hmm. His younger brother was in Vietnam. He was able to accompany him as the Guardian, so it was 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh, nice.
So I was but there's also me and my 2 cousins. So rather than us fight over it, I said, hey, why don't you let the other guy that also served in Vietnam go? And he was healthy enough to do so.
Oh, that's awesome. I think it's such a cool event. And to hear Mike talk about it, obviously, I mean, he said it was very emotional, and he was the flight leader, so he was kind of like the ceremonial leader of the flight, and he took a lot of pride in that. He said his grandfather was also in the military, so I would love to go down. I want to go down and see the send-off, which I got to check the website as when that's happening next, and then at some point I'd like to go down as a Guardian. I think it'd be fun, but I was told that a lot of the people that go are family, which makes sense, obviously, but every once in a while there's someone that doesn't have anybody, which would be kind of cool to go down and try. You got that? You want me to help you?
No, it's good.
The whole mic's going to collapse. I mean, the other thing, too, is you can take this, like you can pop sing it.
You pop sing it.
Pop sing it. You got it?
Yeah, good.
You rotate that, rotate it so it's like this. Get the full face on there. Yeah, there you go. And just tighten it right up. You can be a little...
I didn't want to make all that racket on here.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
There we go.
I gotta go the other way, I think.
But yeah, I think the honor flight is probably one of the best things we do in the local community around here.
It is very cool. I don't know. I wonder if I'm sure more places do it, but I just know. I mean, there's obviously a very big community feel up here. So I think a lot of people up here definitely support it and try to give money to it. Like I said, I've done fundraisers and donations and stuff to it, but I've never actually gotten to watch a send-off, which I'd really like to do. I think that'd be fun.
It's a really cool ceremony. It's definitely worth your time. And yesterday we were up at Rouse's Point for the fireworks. And
did you go up?
Yeah, they had a float yesterday.
Oh, for the honor flight?
Honor flight, yeah.
How was the parade?
It was pretty good.
I used to go as a kid all the time.
Watched it twice.
Oh, one spot and then went back up?
Yeah, it went back up, yeah.
Was there a lot of people?
There's quite a few.
Yeah, it was a nice day out yesterday, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It wasn't super hot. It was nice standing outside yesterday. It's a lot hot in the blacktop sometimes.
I was there. I had an appointment up there early in the morning, and I forgot they had it because you think about like the 4th of July is not till Thursday. So the fact that they have it Wednesday before, so it was June 30th, which just seems weird to have fireworks on 4th of July. Typically it's a little closer, but just the way it falls. So you said your daughter was born in 2015?
2015, yep. She's 4.
Did you ever... when did you guys go full-time? Was it right around then?
Trying to think here. It was 2000... yeah, right around when she was 6 months old was when we went full.
Did you find that when you became a parent that you just worked harder?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely made me more of a go-getter, especially in our situation. We don't, put it out there, look for any sympathy, but she was born with spina bifida. It was a long road. We went back and forth to Boston the whole time Katie was pregnant. Found out at about 14 weeks.
So what is that again? Spina bifida?
Spina bifida. It's
bifida.
This is going to be a medical definition on this one, but she had what's called lipomyelin-meningocele. So on her S2 in your spine, your sacral region, she's missing the process, which is the tip of the vertebrae essentially, and
like the tailbone.
Yep. So that broken down in plain terms is she had a spinal fluid filled sac with spinal fluid, but it was also a ball of nerves. And the lower it is, the better your chances of high quality life. So when it's up high, in C-spine and stuff like that, you can get, brain herniation, things like that. She was very lucky. And the head professor at Harvard, Dr. Benjamin Wharf, did her surgical correction at 6 months. We thought it was going to have to be at birth, but the quality of skin was good. They did the correction, and she really doesn't have anything that stops her from living a normal life at this point.
There's no limitations or anything? Did you have to go for follow-up at all?
We do. We go for follow-up. We're part of the Spina Bifida Clinic in Vermont now.
Okay.
So we go over just quarterly. And she's monitored by urology, neurology, and things like that. She did have a tethered spinal cord, so it was hooked way lower than ours is, if you will. So when they release it, kind of let it do its natural movement. So it can rehook as they grow, and that can become an issue. They can get numbness and things in different places.
But even like going forward, she'll be totally fine?
She should be.
Or should be, provided...
provided nothing happens, yeah. I mean, usually if it's working after the surgical correction, they can usually keep it working.
Oh, cool.
So,
good.
We got really lucky. It was a little bit of a scare in the beginning. But
yeah, well, no, I like I said, I have 2 kids now, and I mean, if they get like my son, if he gets like stuffy nose or he gets congestion or things like that, most of that I'm like fine with. Like we haven't had, I mean, luckily we haven't had any major thing. Like I see when parents have kids that are very sick, it's like that's tough. I mean, I couldn't imagine either kid being in a position that was sick, because they're so fun. Like they're such like kids are great. I mean, we hung out a lot yesterday, and it's so much fun just to watch them interact. And I mean, the baby's little, but my son interacting with the 1-month-old, but he's a character. So it's just so funny to see personalities come out. So then when you see them like that happy, just to see like a kid and not in a good position or something, it's like heartbreaking. But
she was so strong all the way through it too. And she was young. She was 6 months old.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, even now today, like there's times where she's like, she has a little bit of a weakness on her right side, but she's still like, she's wicked strong. Like,
yeah.
She has a scar from it. Like she has pretty good incisions, probably, 10, 12 inches long up her back.
Yeah. That's good. I just I figured I don't know if it's like it's probably your natural parenting instinct. As soon as you have a kid, like everything just you get so much more focused on things.
Push it.
I think a lot of it too has to do with time, meaning I try to cram as much in when I'm like not with the kids as I can to try to maximize the time with them.
Absolutely.
Which is always it's always going to be a battle, but I try that the best I can. But I think like I said, you work harder for that, and then I also think the other thing is you really I think as soon as you have a kid, your body just goes, okay, you can function off of less sleep. You somehow can manage it.
Yeah.
Because I used to be very good. Like I'd get probably 8 hours of sleep. That was like my thing. Like now, God, if I can get 6.5 to 7, I'm really happy. And it's some nights it's 5.5 to 6 to 6.25 maybe. But I'll tell you right now, when I go to bed, I hit it hard.
Do you?
I hit it hard, yeah.
See, like,
I'm a deep sleeper.
I was exactly opposite. So I would be that guy who was functioning off like 5 hours, 6 hours sleep for like
prior?
Yeah, oh yeah, for like
wow.
for like 2 weeks at a time. And you know, I'd go to the gym after work with that much sleep and everything else, and all of a sudden Macy was, you know, born. I used to be that guy, like on the weekend I would just, you know, crash hard, and somebody could run into the house with a car and I wouldn't even move.
Mm-hmm.
But now I don't sleep that deep at all.
Well, this past week,
I sleep regularly, but
like weekends are like my time to try to like catch up on sleep and kind of relax and lay low. And this weekend was like go, 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 go. So today's being a Monday literally feels. I didn't get my rebound off of the weekend, so I'm kind of dragging today. That's why I'm drinking coffee at, I don't even know what time it is, 7:30 at night. And I wish this thing was full because I would need it, but it's all right. We're doing it. No, I just think that's like it's like as soon as it happens, I literally think your body's just like, oh, you have a kid? Okay, now here's your meter of what you can function on. Because I get up early to go to the gym, and I actually am not that bad. I'm getting used to it now, where like I can function off of 5-6 hours sleep, go work out, and feel halfway decent. I just got to get a coffee in me like as soon as I get done, just a little bit of shot of iced coffee or something in my blood. But it's tough.
That's something I wish I could, you know, try to figure out how to get back into my schedule. Like doing this whole cleaning business, it's really nice because, you know, we take Thursdays off most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's our scheduled day off. You know, we have staff that works on Thursday, but we don't. And it's a housekeeping day, if you will, getting paperwork done and stuff. I'd like to be able to get back to the gym because it's been a while since I've been able to, you know, lift.
Stay consistent?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm consistent. I'm that guy that when I lack motivation, I have the dedication. I'll work out every day, but it's just body weight stuff around the house, or
mm-hmm.
I only have a limited amount of dumbbells, and I'd like to get back to the gym environment a little bit.
It's tough. I used to go prior to kids. I would be evening. Like showings were always in the evening, like appointments, so it wasn't uncommon for me to go in at like 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, shower and run right back out and show more homes, or just go to a listing or whatever. I've tried many things. I tried doing like a noon, like literally work in the morning, go to the gym, get back, work till like 6, 7 at night. I tried doing like a 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. because I didn't want to wake up as early. So I was like, and then I just got to the point where I'm like, screw it. So get up at 5, get it done, get on with your day. Because my thing, as soon as stuff gets rolling, like as soon as 9 o'clock comes around, game over. Like I'm running around, things are running into each other. I can't. I guarantee you, like you came in tonight and I sat there for 10 minutes. I'm like, just give me like another minute, because I'm just like trying to get through a few items that like have to be done. But that's like a normal day. So like to get up early and go to the gym now is just like a normal thing. Like I can go to bed at 11:30 and I'm up at 5 to go to the gym because I have to. Like if not, I'm not going.
Right.
So, and that's kind of it's been hard, but now that I'm starting to get into a routine, I really like it, because I like getting like done the gym, showered, back, and I'm at the office by 7 a.m. every morning, and it's great because then I can work for a few hours without messages and phone calls and texts coming in, and I get some stuff done.
That's good.
Because then it's free for all. It literally is a free for all from about 8:30, 9 o'clock on.
Like a lot of times when my daughter goes to bed, I'll be, you know, Katie will when we get home, she'll usually, you know, put Macy into bed if she's not sleeping at one of the, you know, the sitter has her down or whatever. But I'll do it at like 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yeah, I'll eat dinner at midnight, and I'll work out at like 1 or 2
around the house.
Yeah, and then, you know, I'll do like a fast, and I'll wake up in the morning. I don't eat the following day till like noon or 1.
So you when
sometimes I'll work out again on an empty stomach in the morning.
So when do you eat? What time do you finish eating? Like noon or midnight?
Yeah, right around midnight.
And then you work out.
Tonight it'll be earlier.
So work out, don't eat, or eat, work out, don't eat, potentially work out again
or just light in the morning, just body weight yoga type stuff. You know, calisthenics.
Do you do a lot of yoga?
Maybe run. I just started doing it.
Do you like it?
No, it hurts.
I used to do some yoga. I was pretty consistent at certain points. When I did it, I felt amazing. And I guarantee you there's so many benefits of it. I just don't have, I shouldn't say I don't have the time. This is going to be a Craig DeBousism, because every time I say I don't have or can't do something, I hear Craig's voice in my ear saying, no, it's a choice.
It's a choice.
You prioritize. You have the choice to do it. You just don't prioritize it. So I don't want to say I can't or I don't have time. I just don't prioritize my yoga. And I know Craig, if Craig listens to this, he listens quite a bit. He'll text me on that and he'll be proud. But I don't prioritize yoga, but I should, because it is phenomenal. And I feel when I do it, even for like a month, 3 to 4 days or 5 days a week, everything just feels better. I don't have to stretch as much to work out or not to work out. I don't feel as bad sleeping. I don't feel as bad sitting. I can literally get up and everything just moves like jello. Yeah. If I don't do it, I get up and I'm like, your back's stiff, you're moving around, you're stretching your knees out, and it's
I was like too proud in the beginning to like say like, oh, I did yoga. Yeah, I do that. No. It was weird, but
yoga's tough, man.
It is so hard. Like I was at the barbershop, right? On Plaza Barbershops where I go. And Kelly Breen cuts my hair usually.
Okay, yeah.
And she's awesome over there. But she's a yoga instructor.
Yep.
So she was messing with me, telling me, hey, you should take my hot yoga class. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. So she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I've never, the hardest thing with P90X back when that was the cool thing to do was a yoga video. And she's like, well, just start doing it every day. I said, I'm going to start with cold yoga before we put me in a 110-degree room. And she's like, you start where you want. She goes, start doing it. So I started doing it, and I was like, hey, this actually hurts a little bit. It's stretching stuff I'm not using. So
did you do the P90X one?
I did before. No, and right now I'm using this Manflow yoga, something or other on YouTube.
Oh, because the P90X yoga, that was like my first intro to like working out.
Yeah.
And that was like an hour and a half. And I think I probably, out of all the times I did all the other videos, I probably did that one like 3 times ever from start to finish. I felt amazing every single time. The great thing about yoga is that it slows everything down. The bad thing about yoga is my mind is going 1,000 miles an hour. That just slowing down for like an hour and a half, I'm just like, oh my god, what time is it? Oh, it's been 3 minutes. Okay,
you want to move fast?
Yeah, look, I just want to go, and I just feel it's so good for me, but I'm not moving, and I'm just like, I'm really wasting time right now. That's my thought every time I do yoga, and I'm holding a pose. I'm like, can this just like hurry up? Because I want to get this done to do other stuff. Right. And again, I don't prioritize it. I usually feel great, but I found when I was consistent, I was doing yoga roughly like 15 to 20 minutes a day, and it was only a few poses. I was holding them, maybe 3-4 minutes aside, or even 2 minutes aside, or whatever, and just kind of like slow. I don't even know if it was yoga, but it was just like slowly holding stretches and poses, and it wasn't like the tree and all these like weird things that you do, like balance techniques. It was more of like, opening up your hip flexors and kind of the quads and stuff with your upper back and your lats and your shoulders and or upper back, just to kind of keep everything like loose, like more like the muscles I was using when I was working out. And I felt great, and I really should get back to doing it. But again, I don't prioritize it. I don't know if I will. I'll be honest. I don't think I ever will. I'm starting to do. Have you ever seen? I'm going to butcher the name. Oh, it's called crossover symmetry. It's like a shoulder. It's basically like a lot of. I do it at the gym, but like a lot of baseball players use it, and
I've heard it before. I've never actually like looked deep into what it entails, but
so it's just kind of these retractable band things, and they stretch out and they add resistance as you pull. But I
put those in my bench bar, in my squat rack.
Yeah, so the same thing. So I have them up and they cross over. So the two, You got this one cross it, and all it is, it's fairly light, but you do different kind of motions. You pull them out like this, you go out like this, and all it's doing, you do some that go like this, and it basically protects the scapula.
Okay, scapular stabilization then? Okay,
yeah, so you're using, it's fairly light, but again, you don't need a lot of weight on those muscles or those because they're not super strong.
No, you're talking like internal, external rotations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're stabilizer muscles. So when I'm doing all this stuff, it's amazing after doing it for just a little bit, how much like stronger my shoulders feel, how much I'd say like my is it stand? Is you're like standing there like this. Your shoulders don't round over. So when people have poor posture and you're sitting down, I do have poor posture when I don't do this. is my shoulders will round forward, which actually kind of makes your T-spine kind of curve.
Yep.
And you get kind of this hunched over look like this. So if you ever see like guys that do a lot of like bench press and things like that.
Chest, yeah, I was going to say that.
And their arms are always, well, the reason is like basically your chest, pecs, whatever you want to call it, are so tight that they're all pulling everything forward because they're not stretched out enough. So you get this like rounded backism, which basically if you see a guy like walking around like that, you can instantly tell he's got unbelievably poor flexibility and mobility.
He needs to do more pull-ups.
Yeah, rows, anything. So the whole idea is you're doing this, it stabilizes those back muscles. So this is kind of where you get like the taller chest and the shoulders kind of pulled back a little more, not necessarily pinching your shoulder blades, but in that general positioning.
Yeah, you're just anatomically correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing that yoga does for you. It keeps all your posture, That's
yeah, so if I've been doing that a couple times a week, and I've made a huge difference, just like doing it 2 to 3 times a week. Because I used to do it all the time, and then I got away from it, and then all of a sudden my shoulders were like really sore and more sore than they should have ever been, and so that's something I've tweaked a little bit, which has made a difference. But I think anything that's yoga or those little tactical positioning things of those smaller muscle groups makes such a difference, because everybody looks at the bigger muscles, like those smaller ones. Now, you talked about not eating. Do you typically intermittent fast?
I will sometimes. I mean, it just depends on what I'm doing.
Like consciously or just kind of by default, just working?
Consciously. I'm one of those guys, I really watch what I put in my body a lot. But I don't obsess over it either. I mean, I stay active. And I mean, I think as long as you're doing something, you're doing better than most. But
do you track like your macronutrients? Do you just eat clean?
I used to for a long time. Now I just eat clean unless when I'm eating a Rip Van Stroopwafel here.
Necessity. That's the dad. That's where the dad bod comes in.
This right here keeps me vertical when I'm working in the sun or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, there you go. A little sugar.
Yeah, a little sugar replacement.
Yeah. No, I used to do that. Now I haven't really tracked what I've been eating. I'm just trying to eat better. I always look at it, if I'm not tracking what I'm eating and I'm not eating great, the first thing I try to do is I try to incorporate better food. So I'll try to add vegetables, I'll try to add fruits, try to add like lean meats and get away from the processed crap. Mm-hmm. If I can do that consistently, I usually feel much better naturally. And then if I'm really hammering that out, then maybe I'll take the next step and kind of track the quantity that I'm eating also. Is this when you were diesel? Yeah, you're up front, right?
Yeah, I was 205.
Jesus. Were you like a thick 205 or were you like a 205, like a fairly fit 205?
I was fairly fit.
Like you weren't like a lineman 205. You were more like linebacker 205.
Linebacker 205.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually, I mean, I carried some extra body fat, but I would eat a ton. I used to eat like 36-40 a day.
When I tried to gain,
that's what I would have to eat to stay there.
Just to maintain.
So I gave up. It was too expensive.
What was the heaviest you ever been? Was that it?
218.
218. How tall are you?
Unfit.
How tall are you right now?
5'9".
So I'm 5'7". 2019. 5 years ago, roughly 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, I'm gonna gain weight. I'm gonna get stronger. This whole thing, and I did, and it was a chore from October through December, because I got all the way to the New Year's Eve. I got up to 189. I was eating 35 to 4,000 calories a day, and to put on weight. And I ended up doing it like fairly clean, like as clean as you could make it, where I wasn't just eating like pizza.
Right.
So what was hard is I'd come home at night. We would make like steak and potatoes, and we'd have like a really good meal. And then like within an hour, I'm making a shake that had 1,000 calories in it, and I had it in the Ninja. Well, it was like literally like eating like pudding. It was like drinking pudding out of. That's how thick it was, and you're trying to drink out of this. What I don't even know how many ounces that would be. Probably over well over 40.
In the full
like a Ninja, like not the small one, like the main size Ninja. It was probably
because I used to use a Magic Bullet.
It was probably 2/3 full. The problem was I just didn't eat throughout the. Like I have a hard time eating throughout the day.
I pump food constantly. Still.
Do you?
I'm a grazer. I eat like little bits all the time.
That's my hardest thing, because there'll be times I'll come here and I have no food here, and I'm like, I don't want to go eat, so I'll just drink black coffee till 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Then finally I'll go get food, and then I'll work, and then I'll eat at like 9 o'clock at night, like leftovers. Like tonight, I'll just go eat leftovers at the house. Or if I'm really tired and don't feel like making stuff, I'll go to Chipotle naturally.
Chipotle, yeah, that's your spot though.
Unofficial sponsor of the show. They don't know about it yet, but they are. But the whole idea is like just trying to get food in. That's the reason why I couldn't put any weight on right now, is because I know I would struggle to break probably 2,000 calories. I just don't get enough in throughout the day.
I don't anymore.
Not because I want to, just because time. I don't have time to do it.
That was 179 right there.
Oh yes, I love this because my buddy Joe's in the same photo, and Joe was looking thick in that photo.
Yeah, but Joe is strong.
Is that really you?
Yeah, that's me. I was 179 right there.
Yeah, but you don't look that big there.
No.
You have to say
leaned out quite a bit compared to the other one I showed you.
Oh yeah.
That's when I started.
Freaking Joe.
Joe, that kid is strong.
Joe, he's big. He is strong. He's
strongest calves I've ever seen in my life.
Big calves.
Big.
I'd actually call them cows. I want to call them calves.
He can't even zip a pair of combat boots. Just saying.
I believe it.
No,
I actually
really can't.
I really believe it.
He might be able to now, but I still don't think
back
he can.
then. No, he was a strong guy. He used to go to our gym, and he's a great guy. He's a great family. Yeah. So the food thing, that's always obviously an issue, but
we try to eat good, and just get it from good sources. We come down to the farmers market quite a bit. We try to make the best choices we can, but we don't obsess over it.
Are you an Open Gate Farmstead egg guy?
I am.
Yeah. I made some yesterday. Really good.
Duck eggs or?
Nope. He gave me.
I have my own chickens.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they better than Open Gate?
Anything wild is good. Cage free, man. I don't know. I think they're all good.
How many do you have?
5 now.
So they lay an egg a day, basically.
Yeah. So I have 2 black Australorps and 3 Rhode Islands.
And do you go out every morning, grab those eggs, and make them?
They're at my dad's house, so yeah, he does.
And that's the ones he eats every day.
Yeah, he'll come down and I'll get a dozen in 3 days.
Amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he'll bring them down to me.
They're so good. I think I'll have
so much darker than a store bought, and they have such a more rich flavor.
Well, the egg the shell is darker, the yolks are darker.
The omega content's usually a lot higher.
The yolk is darker, but the white actually to me is whiter.
Whiter, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not as that yellowish, yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that it's night and day. The other thing that's night and day is grass-fed anything.
I never believed that until I tried it.
It's amazing.
It is.
And my favorite thing is we get a cow from a local guy, and the same thing. We'll get the ground beef, and you make them into patties. You make them a lot of times we just do a stir fry with them, and it's so good. It's so much better. It just tastes better.
Absolutely.
We got to get what's Matt want to sell us? A pig.
Yeah.
When Matt goes, do you want a pig? I said, put me down for a half. Matt puts in his phone, half pig for Gaelan, upsell him to a whole. And he's had that in his phone. But I told him, I said, we only have so much freezer space, so we'll get a half pig from him.
Maybe I'll get the other half.
Yeah, there we go. He upsold me. I'm gonna resell it off to you. So, but no, it's totally different. Do you how many are you an egg every day guy?
I would say at least usually one a day.
Hard boiled or you just crack them?
This morning I had 4, but just only 1 yolk this morning.
Are you a scramble guy? Or are you
over easy?
Yeah,
usually.
What time are you up normally?
This morning I was making eggs at 11 o'clock after my workout.
Oh Jesus, no, you're too late.
I'm up at 7 or 8 though. Usually.
Oh, we got me and Matt have breakfast tomorrow at 7:30 if you wanted to join.
Oh, over here?
Yeah, but it's early, so you don't have to. No obligation. Yeah, so we the other day we walk in there. They must have thought, we're talking about Campus Corner. I thought they were going to kick me out. Now, luckily, I've been going to Campus Corner for probably 3 years now, almost every week or every other week. And
so you're regular?
Fairly regular. I mean, the waitresses know who we are now. And so I go rolling in. I come here, 7 o'clock. I have a 7:30 breakfast. So I get an iced coffee from Champy's, that Champy gas station.
Yeah.
My only problem with them, they got an iced coffee dispenser, which is phenomenal, but it is never full at 7 in the morning. It's like a drip. I mean, I can still I'll fill the coffee. It's gonna take me 3 minutes to holding this thing down. So I'm sipping on the iced coffee. I walk from here down to Campus Corner, which is about a 2-minute walk, and I'm sipping on the iced coffee. I have half of it left, so I walk into I never bring food in the stores. I hate that. I hate people that bring their own stuff, and so I go walking in. I have an iced coffee. I order the stuff, and I'm sipping on my iced coffee while I'm there, which is obviously a total douchebag move, but I didn't want to dump it, and I want to chug it. So then Matt comes in. I need the eggs. Matt comes walking in with a dozen eggs, comes up to me, and we're literally like passing eggs. Like we're in Campus Corner with a nice coffee, selling eggs to each other at Campus Corner. And I want to apologize to Sue, but that's all right. She didn't kick us out. We bought a meal. We ate. I think she knew we were coming back. So, but that's what we do. We do some egg deals in the car, or at an 80K event outside the back of the. Matt Craig would just go grab a couple and
I think we
add
were
back of the trunk.
Where were we?
Oval.
Oval, yeah.
I bought a bunch of Oval, and then we got some really good video, like good content. We got some good content for
that night,
yeah. We always me and Matt, we're always trying to one up each other, but we always one up each other with each other's in the other video, so it doesn't really work out much. But no, eggs are great. Grass fed, like regular bacon.
Yeah,
I say grass fed bacon, but pigs or whatever. I guess it's grass fed. Actual legit
forest raised, I guess. A lot of
is that what it is?
A lot of pigs will
free range grass. I don't know.
You can put them in pasture in a forest. They'll forage quite a bit.
But have you ever had the bacon when it's not really salty? It's just that like thick, like
natural bacon. My favorite's. Have you ever had the back bacon before with the pea flour on it that they do in Canada?
No.
Yeah, it's.
Or maybe I have, but I don't know by
super good
that name.
It's got like this pea flour that they put on the outside of it, and that back bacon naturally is it's the loin cut, so it's got a lot less fat in it anyway.
Okay.
I'm addicted.
It's not Canadian bacon, is it?
It's essentially Canadian bacon with a pea flour on the.
What do you mean? What's a pea flour?
It's peas, like peas, into like green peas.
Yeah.
Into a flour, and
like a meal. Was it
pea
meal?
Pea meal.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. Like it's almost like cornmeal, but pea meal, and it's on the back of the fat section of the loin on the Canadian bacon, if you will. It's amazing.
Does it fry?
Yeah.
So it must fry like a batter kind of thing?
Yeah. The last place I had it was in Toronto at Wahlberg's. Wahlburger? You ever been
Wahlberg.
You ever been
Marky Mark, yeah, and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah. So that was like his second establishment, but they actually had it there, and it surprised me because I used to go to the butcher shop in right over the border in Quebec, and I couldn't.
Oh,
they wouldn't have
veal?
It. Yeah.
In Hemingford? That place is great.
Yeah, they would be sold out every time I get there because it's so popular.
I didn't know they had that there. We would go there before.
Oh no, I'm talking. Is that what?
It's on Covey Hill.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you go down. We always go down right before Christmas. So like we usually make a run up with my dad. I missed this past year, but we usually run up with my dad a couple days before Christmas. We show up, and I don't know what it is. I just like going to butcher shops.
Yeah, me too.
It's like, I don't know. It's like cool.
I go there and get my pastrami for St. Patty's Day usually.
Do you? Yeah, it's all the stuff there, and I'm like,
corned beef, pastrami.
Yeah, it's like it's just kind of cool. So you go in, and it's freezing in there. And the people that work in there, I don't know how they do. They have like big white coats on. It's a legit butcher shop. Like you look in, it looks like Rocky's warming up in the back, and so you have all this stuff there. I really like blood pudding, which if anybody doesn't know what it is actual blood from, I believe, sheep or pig.
I think it's depending on where you get it. I think there's both, but
I forgot which animal. But it basically is like a sausage. Like it's blood, but it's like they cook it into like a, I don't know.
What's the other thing that they do? Is black and white pudding. You've seen that before too?
I don't think it's called. We call it blood pudding.
It's like it's blood pudding. But you ever seen like the what is it, white or black sausage they used to do?
Maybe
up there too.
Well, it's kind of ground. It's like a very fatty, like. I mean, when you eat it, it tastes like sausage. Like it doesn't taste anything different. It's almost like you cut into it and it can break off and it's kind of brittle. I've
never actually tried it. I probably like it.
It's good. It's just, I mean, if you like sausage or meat, I'm not a huge sausage guy, but if I can get, if it's like well made like that, I'll have it.
Yep.
Like I don't really get it when I go to like a diner or something like that. It's got to be legit.
Oh yeah.
But if you go up there, I always get the smoked bacon. We get the Canadian bacon, but the smoked bacon's really good. No, but that's a cool place. Like they have a lot of stuff up there. I have a hard time reading half of it, but
oh yeah, that and we're 30 cents on the dollar right now. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Well, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they still charge quite a bit for it, but it's good meat. You know. What I mean?
It's still cheaper.
Yeah, it's still cheaper
because every time I
go
in there,
quality too.
Yeah, they have a lot of people that go there. So I mean, you obviously know it's still well within their budget, so we're getting a discount on it. But once a year we go up. It's always around Christmas. I always look forward to it because you go up and it's. I don't know, it's just kind of like a nostalgic trip because we used to always go, but it's not too far across the border.
No, it's like
4 or 5 minutes past.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a 45-minute ride for us.
Yeah, you go through Hemingford and it's right there.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I like going to the butcher shop. I like. I used to go to the co-op a lot when I was a kid. I say kid, but like even like teenage. Did you?
I stopped on the way here.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of stuff there. I just forget to go.
I get my jelly there. Not that that's an overly healthy additive to eat, but I eat Crofter's jelly.
It's just like a non-sugary,
Yeah,
or less sugar,
it's
more
essentially
natural.
Canadian-made fruit spread.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a lot of. It's all natural sugars.
Not
It's
a
all
lot of preservatives and stuff in it.
apple pectin, apple sugars.
Because they have a lot of cool stuff there. I think they make like meals and like lunches, but
They do, yeah.
I never end up going there for some reason. I probably should because again, it's right there.
We have contracts in Saranac Lake too, and we also we go to Norris quite a bit. I don't even know where that is.
Saranac Lake.
Saranac Lake. It's essentially their co-op. It's another green market. But if you go up there, they have burned dairy milk. It's fresh in the glass, and you swap out your bottle when you bottle deposit. So we get our fresh milk from there.
Really?
Yeah, they truck it in from burned dairy right from southern New York.
Whole milk.
Whole milk, 2%, whatever you need.
What do you drink normally?
I usually drink 2%, 2% or skim.
I
do like whole. I cook with whole.
When I was a kid, we had skim milk, and then I started drinking whole milk probably 7-8 years ago. We'll never go back.
No, once you do it, it's like
whole milk to me.
It's real. It's not.
It's so much better. Like I drink like skim milk now, which is what I grew up on. It tastes like water. I will not drink it.
It doesn't have any flavor.
Yeah, I don't drink a lot of milk to begin with, but back when I was trying to gain weight, hell yeah,
Pounding.
hell yeah, like a meal, like a normal. Like to be honest, I'm not even joking. When I was like trying to get calories in, and I was on the road, I would stop and get a quart of milk and just drink out of the quart of milk, and that would have been like your 600 calories to sustain you for
carb, sugars, proteins.
Yeah, and it's a great ratio.
Yeah.
No, I 100%. That was like my go-to. It was like cheap, convenient calories, and if you just get, I guess a quart, right? It wouldn't have been a half gallon, but a quart, and you drink. I think it's like 600 calories, and it's just like a very quick meal that you could hit.
Yeah.
I say meal, but like it's an easy way to get 600 calories in.
Yeah.
And it's cheap.
Protein too.
You probably get it for like $2-3, you know, and that was always a hard thing. My thing is I like eating well. Like if I can prep and eat well, I have no problem eating clean food.
Yep.
It's just it's the prep time for me is the tough one. Like for me, actually, in the freezer, I have all those like frozen food or frozen veggie bags.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a big like prep the food, but if I can just pop it in the microwave, which they're, from what I've always researched, they're just as good as regular veggies. And if they're not as good, they're like 99% as good. So I'm fine. I'll have it.
It's a compromise, but I'll tell you, it's available and it's easy to do.
Well, like lunch today, I had leftover ham from home. Like we made like a ham roast thing or whatever. Half of that had that bag, and I had 3 clementines. It was perfect. I had like a good ratio. It was fairly clean. Breakfast this morning at Champy's, I got it was a egg sausage on a bagel, which probably not the best, but I just worked out, so I figured it was like you need to get, because honestly, if I don't get it, like I'm starving. So like as soon as you get there, like this was 30 minutes after I worked out, I was like crush one of those with a nice coffee. It was perfect. Got on my way, so it's a good start to the day. But breakfast, most important meal of the day. The intermittent fasting thing, I just do it by default if I don't eat.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's better or worse.
I do it in the morning, but once I start eating, I eat all day.
Yeah, man, it's tough.
We do a lot of field to table at our house too. So,
do you have anything other than chickens, or just the chickens?
No, we just have the chickens. I have 2 goats, but we don't eat those. My daughter
sounds like Matt Craig, Shirley the pig.
Yeah.
He does like a rain dance, and she has a kid, she has a litter of kids, and then they end up selling them off. Or he always tells. He told someone the other day about the pig, and they go, "Do you butcher his rabbits? What do you do with the rabbits? You don't kill them and eat them." And Matt goes, "Do you want the true answer, or do you want the answer you want to hear, or something like that?" And I was like, Matt Craig holds no punches. So
I catch. We usually, we go fishing, and I hunt. We're a hunting family, so I usually harvest a couple animals a year, and we eat that too. That's the cleanest red meat you can get, really.
So what's the rule on that? You can only tag 1 or 2 a year?
Or one per season. So I use our archery season. You get a tag. It's buck or doe, and then you have another one that's given to you for muzzleloader season if you choose to fill it. Mm-hmm. Which is, if you use a buck on the first one, you have to take a doe with a muzzleloader, and then come rifle season, you can harvest a buck during regular season.
Gotcha.
But
do you do bow?
Yeah. That's my passion, honestly.
Bow?
Now, yeah.
Or hunting in general, or bow?
Hunting in general, but the archery has taken over. I started that a couple of years ago, and probably right around the same time I brought the business up here, actually, 2010, I think.
Do you ever just go shoot? I mean,
Yeah,
obviously you just practice.
I do 3D shoots a lot.
Is that I would like to? I think archery is the same as bow, obviously, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I know
archery,
I know it is, but that's you guys referring to it as the same.
Yeah,
field?
so it just depends. You have traditional archery where that's like a recurve longbow.
Mm-hmm.
I shoot a compound, which is essentially gives you mechanical advantage.
And this is the one that you pull back like that and shoot out.
Yep, I use mechanical release. If you put your finger on these strings, they'll tear your fingers off. But I use
Well, I mean, yeah,
release.
when I'm going like this, I mean, you're pulling back like you're pulling it back, but it's not like the old Indian bow and arrow. You're pulling back on something a little more that's not going to cut into you.
Absolutely, yeah. I have a release that I hold on to. It's in the shape of a T handle, and then I have a finger release on it.
It shoots about what 30, 40, 50 yards, something like that.
Oh no, man! I was hitting 85 yards the other night.
You can go that far?
Yeah. I would never shoot an animal that far. But I would.
Maybe that was it.
I would shoot at an elk at about 70, maybe, because that's a big target. It's like your door sideways right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Because don't you have to try to hit them like underneath the armpit, kind of
behind the shoulder, essentially with a bow. Yeah, you want a double lung. That's the most ethical shot presentation, if you will. Quartering away is perfect.
I mean, what's your margin of error on that? So if you're shooting like, obviously, if you're taking like this is the point I want. I mean, how many inches each way do you have leeway where it still would be considered a good shot where you're not like all of a sudden you go like that and it shoots off and it hits him in the back leg or hits him like in the neck or something?
I aim for MOA essentially, which is or almost MOA. So 1 inch at 10 yards, 2 inches at 20, 3 inches at 30, and so on, progressively out to about wherever your comfortable distance is. But if you can't maintain that, you can't make an ethical shot at that distance anymore. And I wouldn't even attempt it in the field because I mean, you have no. Mother Nature's always playing games. It might be raining, it might be blowing 20 miles an hour in your face. Everything, it's variables. So, and I mean, I got a lot of respect for the animals I hunt, so I'm not going to just start flinging arrows out. Is
it a pretty, like when you're shooting from like 30 yards out or even 20 yards out or 10 yards out? I mean, 10 yards is not too far away, but it's enough where you can definitely get that, within that range of that 1 inch.
Yeah, mine are all typically touching at most distances. At 85, they're not. They're probably in like a 6 or 7 inch circle.
Wow, is that and again, I'm totally new on this. Like, do you have a scope when you're looking through this?
So no, you look through a peep. It's attached to your string, and I have a little bit more complicated sight than most will. Up here in the Adirondacks, you can't usually see far enough for it to matter. So you usually use a 3-pin sight or a 5-pin sight. Guys will set those for 20, 30, 40, whatever. I have 30, 40, 50, but my 50 is a floater, so I can dial. I have a sight tape on the side, and I can range it. If it ranges 80 yards, I know my bow shoots 291 feet a second, so I dial to 82 yards or whatever it is and send it. It'll hit there.
Yeah,
it's
always going to dip because of gravity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then eventually you're going to run out of adjustment because your sight's going to come down and get close enough to your arrow to where it becomes unsafe. So your system will max itself out. But for just shooting targets, there's guys out there shooting 120, 130 yards.
Just targets. So this is not like out live animals or anything like that.
No, I have seen guys do it on, actually harvest animals out, 80, 90 yards, but I wouldn't take that shot.
I had a couple clients. This was back in the day. Probably great guys. I actually saw one of them this past year, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and they were hilarious. They were just a great group of. They're all brothers, and it's funny as hell. And we ended up. He goes out every year to hunt out west, and we went to this one house, and the guy had this gun that I don't know if it had a scope or whatever the case was, but the distance he told me that it could shoot blew my mind, and it wasn't like a couple hundred feet; it was like thousands of feet. Am I wrong on that? Saying 1 to 2,000
yards
or yards?
Thousands of yards. I have one set up that'll do that,
and I it just like didn't register that this thing could. And still be accurate, how do you even see it? And the one guy that actually went back to his house and he does taxidermy, and he built this. I sold him the house, and I went back to meet him one day because I was out in Malone, and absolutely beautiful. And you walk in, and he's got all these like exotic animals that you can hunt because he said like if you go to Africa, you start hunting like I look at zebras, I'm like, who hunts zebras? And he's like,
right.
He goes, you have to. He goes, the population is so out of whack out there. He goes, that's the whole purpose of hunting is to regulate the population of a lot of these animals because of predators and things like that. And there was some of these animals were absolutely amazing, just beautiful coats on them. And obviously the zebra because you can pick it out from anywhere. But they had some other ones. There's another striped animal, kind
Kudu, maybe?
It could be. And there's a couple with a bunch of different like horns and stuff. And one was curled, one were just straight up like this. And just extremely like amazing seeing these animals. Obviously not in person, but you know.
Oh yeah.
Stuffed or whatever the proper term is.
I have a lot of respect for wildlife altogether. And like, you know, the other thing is too, I don't know if you've seen me a couple times now, you'll see sometimes I'll wear this shirt that says public landowner on it. So I'm a BHA member, which is Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. It's probably the best, you know, hunting and essentially keeping public lands in public hands, if you will. You know, so I mean, for people who don't hunt, it's still an important organization.
It's BHA?
BHA. Backcountry Hunters and Anglers.
So where's that at? Just locally?
Missoula, Montana.
So what's the purpose of it? Just to
keep public lands in public hands is the pretty much the mission.
So not state land.
No,
or state land part of that.
State, federal. You know, they keep access to waterways and streams so that you know you can fish watersheds and you know they protect
so it's not getting
wildlife.
Commercialized and developed. Is
Right,
that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily commercialized and developed, but just protected all around. Like, they were trying to do I think it's in Oregon right now. Their army was about ready to do like a mining. I think it's a mining thing right near one of the largest spawning grounds for salmon, and they're in the process of trying to stop them from doing it because it's going to destroy the population of fish in that area. And it's so you can hand it down to your kids so that the opportunity is still there for other people. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily just all about hunting. Like everybody thinks hunting is about harvesting, but that's only a quarter of what you do.
So who got you into hunting? Your dad?
Yeah, I mean, I was raised in a hunting family up here at about 14 years old. I started going to camp, you know, participating.
I mean, I have some friends that absolutely love. I've never been.
I love the food. I hunt to eat.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to go. I mean, not all the time, but we go fishing. That was one thing we did in the summer, and
I fly fish too. Yeah.
Dude, I've never done that, but I love fishing. Like it was just like it was such a calming. It's just relaxing, and I mean, it's not much more to it. But there's obviously some skill involved, and I was very novice, but it's still kind of fun to go like float in the water, and especially up here with summer's so short. Yeah. It's cool just to like, you know, go out and either early in the morning, sometimes late at night. One of my favorite. I remember doing this with a couple friends. I think we were probably in high school or just out of high school, and we went and tried to spearfish out in like
oh yeah,
we had a spotlight. We were floating around. The water was no more than probably 3 or 4 feet deep. And we were trying to spearfish from the boat, which I don't know if it's legal or not, but it was fun. It was like 9, 10 o'clock at night. You're just floating around in the bay. And
my buddy does it all the time he bow fishes for carp.
Really?
They have competitions actually.
Carp's the bigger one, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty big.
Bottom feeder. Essentially, you get them in like the shallows and stuff at night. And these guys go to great lengths and put all these, you know, the lights on the front of the boat, and they get big into it. But
I remember one time we were at...
I don't eat them, so I wouldn't do it.
I was at my parents' dock. I remember looking down, and this fish swam underneath the dock. And low meaning like you could see the shadow, but it was fairly low on the ground because Lake Champlain's not a very clear lake. You know, it's hard to see in. So the water, like this thing goes underneath the dock. And I just remember like, we hunted a lot like northern pike and stuff like that. And it wasn't a bass, it was a northern pike. I don't know what it was. It was pretty big because typically in the water they would look smaller, right, than when they're pulled out.
Right, yeah.
So this thing was massive in the water, and I didn't even want to know what it was. It was just like this long, almost like, I mean, it wasn't obviously a shark, but you know what I mean? Like it could have been a carp.
Could have been a sturgeon.
Could have been sturgeon, yeah.
They're pretty big.
It was
kind of creepy looking.
Well, this was deep down. Obviously, I mean, I say dark fish. It's dark water, so who knows what color the fish actually was. But I just remember this thing kind of slowly, kind of slithering like underneath the dock, and I just looked down. I was like, "Oh, I'm not going swimming right now." Like I mean, obviously, it's probably not going to attack me, but that was probably the biggest. I again never caught it, never did anything, but it was fairly big. We used to do bass, more of the smaller fish. You know the one,
right,
like, you know, I think that a northern pike's probably the largest I've ever caught. With help from other people to reel it in, because I was young at the time. I wasn't, but at high school we did a little bit of it. It was fun. Never hunting though. I think hunting would be fun. I just think time wise, I don't think I'd be.
It's a lot of time.
Well, my thing is I wouldn't want to, again, Craig DeBoos, I wouldn't want to prioritize that because I enjoy other stuff and it's just time in the day. It's like, do you golf?
I do. Actually, I just started again. So that was something I grew up doing with my grandfather as well. You know, he retired I was probably 9 or so. And every day he would go to the golf course and work. I would work with him.
Which course?
Barracks.
Okay.
And then we would golf the next day. So we would work one day, we'd golf next day. And I learned a lot about the course. I learned a lot about the sport. I made the varsity golf team when I was in 8th grade.
And you played all the way through?
I didn't. I continued to play afterwards. I played, I think, 3 years, I think.
You still play like regularly or just occasionally?
I just touched my clubs after a 7-year hiatus, essentially.
Oh, really?
Probably 5 years, actually. So I took it serious.
That's about right.
7
your daughter
years
was born?
5 years ago, I played for a buddy of mine's bachelor party for his wedding. And that was the last time I touched him.
I've tried to go a few times. Man, I used to play a lot. And the one thing that frustrates me is when I stopped playing, I was probably 19. So it's been about 10 years that I really got out of it. Like I was playing like all the time.
Yep.
And it's to the point now where like the club feels foreign to me at times. Meaning like I can hold it, but like the swing is just not. I'm a little like, I'm definitely bigger, if people can believe this. I'm bigger and stronger than I was back then. I was like 150 pounds,
right,
max. And I was a lot weaker. But the good thing about that in golf, I could turn and my speed was just as good.
Power comes from the swing, right?
Yeah, and everything was
from the arms.
Yeah, and I was just more fluid on all my swings. Now I'm a lot more jerky and not as good. But the thing that I always get is I was probably, I think the lowest I got down to was a 6 handicap.
Okay.
Or something like, it was fairly good. My average score was between 75 and 80 almost every time. Like I had a couple low 70s, but not consistently. So it was always probably 4 or 5 over par. It was kind of an average round for me. Now, like I hit 90 the other day and I was happy. Of course, she had some drops, she had some misputts, she had some shanks here and there, but I always look at it like, man, if I would have just stayed 10 more years, because I play way smarter now than I did 10 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you were trying to kill every ball back then.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I'm like, I wish I would have kept playing, because I think right now I would be a pretty damn good player if I would have kept going over 10 years. But just I prioritize different things. And now with kids, it's like we're trying to tee off by 6, so we're done by 10, home by 10:30 kind of deal.
Right.
So we're not taking up majority of the day. And remember when I was a kid, my dad used to do the same thing. And I was like, man, why are you going so early? Well, part of it was I get it now. Like you try to go play, get out of the way. I say get out of the way. Like you don't want to try to rush through it, but you want to get back to spend time with the family.
Absolutely,
and still have the fun of playing.
It's still a balance, right? Family balance.
Yeah, and so there's not a lot of things that like I said, I try to balance my social life and work life together. Mm-hmm. And usually beyond that, I'm doing something with the family. So like a lot of people are like, oh, come do this on a weekend or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I got stuff. Like it's I know it's not going to happen. That kick on? Yeah. Did it?
Feels good though.
Oh, I should have turned it down. That thing I wanted to turn on this morning, I never did. I'm like, I'm going to do it. Totally spaced out, and there it goes. It does feel good. The air conditioner just popped on. No, that's great. Did you? When you said 5 years ago you stopped playing, or 7 years ago you stopped playing?
7 years ago I probably stopped. I played 5 years ago for my buddy's wedding.
Gotcha.
And then, I used to play pretty regularly before that. I was pretty dedicated.
So now you and Katie are both on. And where did Katie go to school?
Saranac.
She was same. Okay,
yep, same as me.
So obviously you and Katie now you're on the board, but 80KYP. When did you guys start going to that? That was fairly recent, right?
I'd say probably 5 months ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I think.
How'd you guys get into that?
I think I started going to the chamber events first, or maybe not. Yeah, I did start going to the chamber events first, and then work got kind of busy there for a little while, and then we were like, hey, I really like the networking event that we saw, and I was like, let's go do it. It was over at Valcor, and
for
Matt
the
had told
80K.
Me about it. Yeah, Matt had told me about it, and I was like, okay. So I stopped over there, and it was in speed dating fashion, networking, elevator pitch, cover these 3 topics and keep it moving.
Right.
You were there.
And we didn't actually, I lied. That is the first time I met you.
Yep.
The first time I talked to you, though, was I think at Plattsburgh Brew Company.
We said hi goodbye that night.
Yeah,
I was like, hey, we didn't get a chance to connect.
I think you were probably the only person
time.
I didn't talk to. Of course, I was running around like, I'm a crazy person. So
yeah, we were just doing our thing, and you know, it was good. It was like a forced networking event, if you will. But it's nice to make connections with people. You know,
Yeah.
I don't make a connection saying, "Hey, I hope business comes from this." I try to build a relationship, and when the need arises, we're here.
That's actually we discussed that today, me and Ellie on Realty Talk. Like that we're talking about networking. My thing is you have to. I don't like asking for business from people, and I don't want to. I want people to come to me because they like me or want to use me or think I'm knowledgeable or whatever the case may be. But when they come to me, I already have a better shot at, because they already have a good feeling when they come to me. So if somebody comes to me and knows me, we're already at a better relationship because I've gotten past the trust thing. Like they trust me. Now I can just do my job and do it well. Where, you know, sometimes if you go up to people and you've never met them before, you're trying to like, you know, get them to like you and then provide the service. So you're almost trying to, you get to skip a step a little bit and they know you more. Like you guys know me. I'm like crazy, you know, like at some of these events. But obviously you're on the podcast, so you like me enough that you don't think I'm that crazy. But you actually know like the real me. It's not like I'm going all stiff and being like, oh, send me business and I'm different than you see me there versus you see me now versus you see me on the weekends or whatever. So I try to be very authentic in everything that I do, and I think that comes across people.
Absolutely.
Like, so I think if you're authentic, because there's a lot of people in that group are authentic. I very rarely find like the people that you see there are trying to put on a show or trying to put on like a face to try to get business or to come across more professional. Me 6-7 years ago, I would have done that because I would have been scared shitless. But now,
yeah, I know a lot of people in business like that. They will put on a front or put up the blinders, however you want to look at it. But a lot of people do that when they're a correction officer too, because they're not really that wired to do the job, if you will.
They're trying to play the part.
Trying to play the part, yeah. But it's all about transparency, I think. Like, if you're just transparent, like I'm currently like updating our website, and I was thinking about like keeping some stuff out of it. But you know, we're family owned, family operated, so I'm just gonna be as transparent as possible. People have to build trust. We got to be in their homes and their businesses. I want them to know who we are, where we came from.
Well, that's the same. Like, I mean, us with hiring. Like, we had a kid today, and he reached out to me about joining us and doing real estate. And so I told him, hey, sure, swing by. Say, get a hold of me when you're back in town, which he did. He came here, nice kid. And I was the same thing. It was like I guess like a job interview kind of thing, but I talked 80% of the time because I'm more of like, I will pretty much take on. My philosophy is, as long as you seem semi-decent, I'm willing to give you a shot, meaning I don't want to judge a book or, judge a book by its cover kind of thing. Right. So I'm willing to give anybody a shot if you want to get into it. So I literally almost read them the Real Estate Riot Act as like, it's hard. Like, don't ever come into a real estate position to get a job or to become a realtor. And if somebody's telling you it's easy, they're lying to you because it's not. And so this kid came and I just talked, but we talk about transparency. Like Ellie was there and I'm saying all this stuff like as point blank as you could say. I'm not holding anything back. I'm telling them all. Basically, I'm trying not to scare the kid off, but I'm being very realistic. Like, like don't waste your time. Don't waste my time if this is going to be something that's a little out of your comfort zone. He was like, no, I really want to do it. I'm like, okay, perfect. You're right. Like, all right, like text me tomorrow or next week and we'll get together and you'll start shadowing me while you're finishing up your course and I'm totally good. And then I had him come in here and he's listening to the podcast and everything else. Like, I'm like, my thing, like transparency, like I want you to see what we're doing first before you commit and say you want to work with us. And all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I like you guys. I'm like, okay, let's roll.
That's like, I don't know. I kind of want to go down that road with the cleaning business. In the beginning, I had my defense up, if you will, because I was like, hey, if I get out there and start doing the Monday minutes, I'm going to start educating my competition in the segment. But at the same time,
have you been doing that? Because I've seen a couple things you've posted.
I haven't done the Monday minutes yet, where I've jumped out there and actually, 100%, went and give somebody instruction or advice as to why and how to hire a cleaner, or in what situations, what do you expect when you hire a professional cleaning service versus,
like I've told you before, nobody in your space is doing it right now.
Yeah.
At least locally.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm doing right now with real estate. There's nobody in real estate that's doing what I'm doing. There's some people that do stuff, but I mean, I'm very confident that my stuff's better, and and I'll put it up against anybody that I know I'm coming from a good place and giving out good information. My thing is Realty Talk. I literally say everything that I believe, and I've been doing this for 9 years, and I've gotten better and better and better. And I don't care if people as a competition, like if other realtors want to listen to it, that's great. A lot of them have said they've listened to it. I've had multiple people tell me they've listened to the podcast. That's totally fine. I post stuff online, information, they can use it.
Right.
This is what I do when I go list a home. This is what I say. This is what you should. I've DM'd agents on Instagram and said, hey, I like what you're doing. Keep it up. I've DM'd agents on Instagram and said, try changing this up. Hey, don't do that because do this.
Right.
It's the better way to do it. Like I'm not like nothing out of it. I'm just saying, hey man, if you're trying to get better at Instagram, try changing this thing up or try doing this.
That's the thing is like, it's like you got to take the leap, right? So like you're going to have your subjective opinion out there, but yet you've learned already from the mistakes. Yeah,
and some of these are newer agents. Some of them are not newer agents, but are new to social platforms. I've been doing this stuff for 5 years now. Like I'm very confident in a lot of these things, but to me, I'm not looking at it as me giving information to another realtor is me giving away industry secrets.
Right.
Like I don't like, to me, part of it is I'll give you information because I want you to do like better. Like I don't care. Like I'm good. Like I'm gonna keep because my thing is no matter what I give information wise, you have to be willing to do it, and you have to be willing to do it better than me, and you have to be more consistent, and you have to work harder at it.
Exactly.
Find me someone that hits all that together, and it's very tough, very small pool of players. So my thing is, if you get information out, and that's why I give information to clients. I had a listing on Sunday. The lady literally said, I follow you on social media, and I told my husband I want you to list our home. I said, perfect. And then there I was sitting in their kitchen doing a listing appointment. They never would have had that.
Is that the one you shared this morning?
I think so. It's
a nice house.
I think it was. I'm trying to think what I did today. Yeah, maybe
busy day.
Yeah, life. But it was the idea that like you guys giving away industry secrets. Again, you would have to find a company that'd be willing to do it or do it better or outwork you at it. Then the other thing is like if I saw you on doing a video about how clean you can make a window, and I know I can't do it, and you're using some funky technique, one thing, I'm probably not going to go out and buy the same chemicals and the same material. I don't want to take the time to do it. I'm just like, no, there will be some people that will copy it and do it on their own. And at the end of the day, who cares? Like,
there's a lot of bucket bobs out there, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's window cleaning is one of those like,
I Windex it and I use paper towels. So you can see
it's a quick startup though. I mean, some guys will go out there and buy a squeegee and, a little bit of Dawn dish soap, and they think they're a window cleaner, but they're just a window washer. They spread the dirt around. And there's a whole lot of technique that goes in there to get a good finished product.
Yeah, and I think,
and it's the smallest little thing you wouldn't even believe. Like it's just how you hold the towel when you're done.
Yeah.
Do you touch the window do you touch a towel to the window when you're cleaning a window? Like,
I would think no.
No, you don't want to, right? So you just want to. There's a little bit of residual water left. You want to just mitigate that. But if you hit the window frame and it's oxidized, now you have a streak on your window. So you have to handle that problem. It's a delicacy, actually.
But see, like what you just said over that like 10 seconds is about like, I'm like, what?
Most consumers wouldn't care, honestly. They just want a clean window.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just going to be informative and just
but I think if you get informative and you tell people, they're going to finally, this is what I do. When I put information out, it's for the sole purpose that people will now look at me as the expert for all things real estate, which has allowed me over 5 years to gain a pretty big audience of people that follow what I do, and I've gotten a lot of business from it. And it's not, hey, come use me. It's literally like, I'm going to give you all this free information. Here's what to do. Here's how to stage your home. Here's what to prep your home for. Hey, if you're selling your home by yourself, this is what I would do. If you didn't want to use an agent, I will tell you how to sell your home. You're probably not going to do it, so you'll call me. But like, it's the idea that
this is my number in case you want me.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you probably don't pull it off, give me. But it's the idea that if you can give information away, people are going to say, okay, that's the guy I want. He's got so much information. I like him. Now I'm getting the trust factor. And I think if you guys can do that from a cleaning standpoint, even just, hey, before and after carpets, before and after walls,
Yeah.
this is what we do on
Our job's very visible.
exactly.
Honestly.
This is what we do on different, upholstery of different furniture, windowsills. I mean, just cleaning. Like I go around and you just like, I think you had sent me a photo of just like sweeping something and you showing the difference.
Yeah. Just
and honestly, it was probably like the whole wood color and the paint color was totally different. But like the idea that just like taking off that made such a difference. It like brightened up. Like you literally, it looked like a different shade because you just took dirt off of it.
Oh yeah.
And it's amazing how. And of course, could I have gotten a bucket and made it look decent? Yes, I could have probably have gotten it to about 70% of what you did. But it's the extra mile that like makes such a good difference. Like anything else, like
right.
There's a reason why a lot of people can sing, but not everybody is a multi-platinum Grammy award-winning artist. There's a difference between, even if it's just a little bit more, that little bit more makes a huge difference.
So like it was kind of funny you say that because I was looking at like the whole like package of what a cleaning service offers, and you sit down and you're like, hey, yeah, anybody can go out and buy a Shark vacuum or a Dyson. They're very popular, right? Or you can buy the best off-the-counter chemicals. But it's the experience doing it with the best equipment and chemicals we can find that makes the package valuable. And it's the efficiency is what we work at. So like, rather than fighting with less than ideal equipment and chemicals or stuff like that, you let it come full circle, and it's efficient. It saves customers time.
Well, it's stuff you see too. Like if I just have a house, you've seen, thousands of windows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay,
and they're dirty.
Yeah. And it's like I know how to. Okay, I've done this multiple times. That's like when I go to a listing appointment and we have to discuss price. I've done that hundreds of times.
Value of clean. I'm sure. Did you guys? Does that hit your table at all? Like the value of clean. Like when you have people coming to view the home. If these windows were like this, or if they were super oxidized, what that'll do for
yes and no,
in a showing.
because I don't have that knowledge. Meaning, like that would be something like I'll probably have to sit down with you and Katie, and you can give me like the Cliff Notes version or the rundown about this stuff. But like to me, I've had people they've had vacant homes. Hey, get like someone professional to come in and clean, because when someone comes in, it's just dirty. Buyers buy on psychology and emotion,
of course.
And what they do is they'll want to buy it, then they have to justify it with the price. Does it make sense? And some people are heartbroken when they can't pay for what they want. But the idea is that if you can go make a house look a little bit, but yeah, I guess even a little bit cleaner.
Right.
What happens is it smells better, it looks better, all the little crevices are gone. When someone looks at that house, you could take a house that's 50, 60 years old, spruce it right up. Someone walks in, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. We want this house. Right. Now, a week later, it could be all dusty again and dirty, but you did what you wanted to accomplish when they walked through the house at the time of the showing. So a lot of stuff in real estate by, like you said, cleaning, like shampooing the carpets and wiping down everything and cleaning
odors,
cleaning the odors, cleaning the bathrooms. When someone walks into a new house that looks like that, or I shouldn't say new house, but a house has been cleaned, it feels like a newer home.
Right.
And I 100%, like if you guys went through a house and said, we charge X, you're going to make X times 20 probably on whatever number you give them.
Oh, absolutely. The return on the investment
or 50 or whatever the numbers are. I'm just kind of throwing random numbers out without doing the math. But the idea is that you guys, and I've been thinking about that from a standpoint of, like, one of my main things when I go to a house, you can talk all this marketing, all this funky stuff. Like, at the end of the day, if somebody's truly looking for your home, they'll find it. And that they will get in. And yes, there's certain things we do and certain places we put ads to get in front of more people that would want to purchase the property. But at the end of the day, marketing only gets them through the door. The actual sales, to me, like someone actually purchasing the property has to physically go look at it. They have to have some type of want for that property. That could mean, now could it mean the house is kind of crappy, but it's next to family? 100%. Most of the time, though, that people go look at a house, they go in, they like the pictures, they like the location, they walk in. That's when the real selling begins, because people are at that point literally walking through the house. They're seeing not a photo, they're seeing it up close and personal. Photos can hide a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah, it can.
So if you go, I mean, you can't see dust in a photo.
No.
So
I stopped doing estimates over photos.
Oh, I don't blame you. Yeah.
Like, because people will be like, hey, can you give me a quick estimate on this? And they want that instant number. Mm-hmm. People want that. And it's like, I have to see it.
Yeah. Yeah,
'Cause
I mean,
you can't tell.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Videos, they're great, but they don't show everything either.
No, and I think the idea that you can pretty much up the value of a property by putting basically pennies on the dollar to clean it is huge. I think everybody that lists their home should have someone like you come in and clean it.
Even especially if it's vacant, because
vacant 100%. But even if we know it's a fairly good house and we're like, this could go, get it professionally cleaned. Like, I'll meet with you today, right after or tomorrow. Get it cleaned. I'll put it on 2 days from now. We'll
get
get
it.
You
you have a showing coming, company like we own. I mean, if we could have you on the schedule, like if you knew you had a showing at this time, we could be in there 30 minutes before people show up and just
spruce it up and get some odors out and things like that. I think it's powerful. I think cleaning is very powerful. The two things I'll say three is, I'll say four as things start popping in my head. The first one is usually landscaping.
Oh, absolutely.
Which you can, again,
curb appeal.
You could hire a professional, look a heck of a lot better. Most people are like, well, what can I do? I'm like, you can buy mulch. You can get some pavers and stuff and kind of spruce up the outside and make it, jump out a little bit. Cleaning is one, obviously.
Yeah.
Painting. So getting in and just painting some rooms and putting a fresh coat of paint goes a long ways. And then the other thing is just all the little knickknacks, the beat up trim from the dogs or the kids running into the corners of houses or, some spackling on the walls. Like, fix the minor things up, which might take you a weekend to do, and maybe a couple $100 tops.
Yeah, details, man. It's all about the details.
But it goes because if somebody sees like a little ding on the wall or a little, a piece of trim hanging off the wall that's
now
not
they're looking.
Well, now it's like, what else is wrong with the house? They've neglected that. What have they neglected? Where if everything's just like it should be, and you walk through it, all of a sudden they get this instant, oh, this is a nice home. Like, no, you should have seen it a week ago. They just patched up all the little odds and ends that have been, and they cleaned the house and all this stuff. I mean, the house is totally fine, but they up the value very fast because they took the time to do a little bit of due diligence on their part.
Right. Yeah, and it can be awesome. I mean, when you walk into a building and it's got a fresh coat of paint and beautiful woodworks are still intact and they're solid. I mean, what's not to like, honestly?
No, 100%.
Like this building here, you're in.
I love this building.
They don't do craftsmanship like that anymore.
No, well, I'm never going to touch. Do you know much about? Do you know much about wood like that?
Yeah.
Like how would you protect that without damaging the wood? Like, obviously painting to me is stupid. You'd never paint them. What the hell is that called? The sill, not the windows. What's that? The trim? On the bottom, on the trim. Not, I guess trim, but
you're talking about the window
sill. Yeah. Like that was painted, which blows my mind when someone painted that.
Yeah, I would have been crying the whole time somebody painted that.
I know, and like that would have been beautiful wood.
Yeah.
Now the trim's like that, so when we get this place all painted and done up, I'm gonna
strip that probably.
You think so?
You probably could.
Yeah, but I'm always nervous, like the windows like that. But do you put like some kind of oil on it? Do you put some kind of
just to protect this right here?
To kind of like bring the color back out?
Yeah, I would put like a Danish oil in it, or possibly even like just like a natural oil. I wouldn't put anything like poly on it or anything like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I was thinking too. Is you get some kind of, someone said like what the hell was it? It was a type of oil.
There's a couple different types. There's like Danish tongue oil. There's Australian oil, Australian wood oil. It's like Habit. It's like a natural oil. I would use just like a Danish oil.
But what would that do? Would that bring the color back out? The natural color?
Because
I don't want to distort it and make it like stain it a different color.
No, that's not going to do that. I mean, you just want to, just protect it. You're going to impregnate it with oil, so it's naturally going to get darker for a period of time, but it'll come back. Just because it does look like it's been just dry for a while.
Well, it's kind of faded out a little bit, especially like the corners. You see like kind of the sun kind of creeps in on the side. There's so much wood here. Like these doors, I don't know how old these doors are. I mean, these seem pretty solid though.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I doubt they're original, but I'm sure they're
still nice quality solid door though.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't touch any of the doors.
No. And that door frame right there is beautiful. I mean, you can see what they painted this one here on you compared to the.
I know. I don't understand.
It's definitely a hard one too.
I wonder when that would have been painted, because like who would paint? It blows my mind that someone would paint natural wood
Yeah.
Like I was just gonna paint it like a solid color.
I've seen my friends and family do it, though. It blows my mind because they don't understand. Like if I would have had to guess, I would say that's probably a type of oak. If I just me guessing, just because of grains of the wood. But if they understood the cost of that,
Can you sand that off? Like how does that?
I've seen people chemically do it with like a putty knife and chemical stripper, and then you just lightly sand it. And
It's
get
got
it
to
back.
damage the wood though.
Has to.
There's no way you can like even chip it away. I mean, you're just gonna scrape it, scratch it, and then
Yeah.
it's gonna look like I don't know. I don't trust
I've
it.
seen people chemically strip it and use steel wool just to finish getting it off.
Man, I don't know. I
Make me nervous.
got my house has
Floors
wood.
are easier. Floors. Yeah, you sand that off, but.
Yeah, I'm sure these floors were beautiful at one time. I mean, they're still very nice, but they're
Yeah, really awesome.
what is that? Is that oak? Maple?
Probably is. It's a hardwood for sure. They usually do.
Yeah.
Hardwoods on the floor.
Have you ever used walnut?
No, but it's beautiful.
That's,
If you can find it.
We're working on that. We're working
Cherry
on it.
too. Cherry's good. I actually have a. It's kind
The
of
problem is that a cherry's too red for what I want.
Yes, it is.
So we're
It's a
gonna
very
go
red
with a darker like the. I love the look of walnut. I just think it has a pretty coat to it or coat. What you know what I mean?
Right. Right behind my house right now. There's a this sawmill my wife's father and brother own.
Which one is it?
It's not like a public sawmill. I mean, it's
They have walnut.
no. He does. He's got pine, cedar. He does sell it. My wife's brother.
Sells wood or sells walnut?
He sells wood, but no. Probably what is it? Saranac Hollow Wood Specialties, or what is that?
Saranac hardwood.
Saranac Hardwoods.
That's where we went up. They have it.
Yeah, yeah. He has Brazilian. He's got everything you want up there.
That guy's got a ton.
He's got some stuff up there.
We went up. This is me and Ryan, obviously, and we went to this guy's sawmill, kind of a private sawmill too, up in Saranac.
Yeah. He's got a lot of Finnish carpenters know that guy very well.
Well, then we came and went to him after because and the funny thing is,
Did you go to Bloomingdale Wood Specialties way up?
I couldn't even tell you, to be honest. I don't know where it was. It was farther up Route 3. We hung a right.
Farther up Route 3?
Yeah, probably across from like Pup Hill, Hard Scrabble, out that way.
Okay, yep. I know where you're at. I don't remember the name of it, but I know where you're talking
Just like
about.
a little private shop. So we went up to, and within the week I had driven by to go to a showing, and I drove by this thing, and I'm like, you freaked me out, Jordy. Because you like walked and there was a shadow just moving.
That's all I saw was a shadow. I was like,
what the hell? So we went up there and I saw it and I told Ryan, I'm like, let's go up. And we went in there. He was super nice and he wasn't working that day and he came out and the amount of different styles of wood that guy has.
Yeah, he's got wood from all over the world.
Does he import it?
He has to. I mean, Brazilian, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, where do you get Brazilian, whatever? There was like 3 different Brazilian kind of woods. Part of it, I wanted to buy it because I never heard the name before. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
So I'm going up there for a couple of my mounts just to use as like, backers on the mount, if you will. But that guy has everything you could ever want.
It was a really cool shop.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think Ryan called me the other day because at the time he was showing us all the 2-inch. So we're gonna have to probably plane it down a little bit. But we.
You going solid? Or is he gonna like
no
for joinery? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we couldn't find. We actually looked at solid pieces of pine.
Oh man,
it was nice, but we would have. There was no. We want to make it was gonna be 4 feet wide. Like we've never. They weren't 4 feet. They were all. You're probably talking 18 to 20.
You're gonna have some
inches.
joinery involved, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And those were all like true like live edge. So by the time you started cutting them down in the boards, it wouldn't have made any sense.
Live edge looks cool, but I don't know how practical it is for a work environment.
If it's live edge where you have the bark on the end, I don't like it at all because it's not. I do, but I like it like in a lodge up in like Lake Placid. Right. I don't want it here. The other thing is on the edge. If you take a live edge but it's sanded down, I do like the look. But I like a look of like, because we're doing like the conference table, I like the look of just clean lines on the table.
Yeah, me too. Like
versus having a little bit of a curvature, because when you're working, I don't want to have like indents in the like.
Yeah,
if it's a kitchen table or just kind of like a bar stool maybe, but I want to keep it very functional. But that should be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that. He is too, because he's never really done. He's done some like obviously the Adirondack chairs and stuff, but
I'm excited to see what comes out of it.
This will be a little problem. Well, I mean, it's going to be 99% him and 1% me. I'm going to learn though as I go. You cold, Jordy?
No.
Oh, okay. Were you going to say something? No. Jordan's here, everybody. What did you do this weekend, Jordy?
Literally nothing. I watched TV all day Saturday and then I took a nap.
You did what?
I did some work for you.
Oh.
And then Sunday I went home to watch the dog, and yeah.
Are your parents gone right now?
Yeah, they left yesterday.
For baseball?
Yeah.
Oh, your thing's over there. Oh, no, it's right there, under the passport. Look down.
Oh.
Yeah, that's yours. Are you bringing the passport with you?
Yeah.
Okay. It should all be on there. I deleted a bunch of stuff today that Jordan was supposed to have, and then she chewed me out about it. But it was on my computer. But I had less than a gigabyte of space on my computer. I deleted all those, and I now have 42 gigs open.
Did you put them on the passport?
No, I put them in the garbage.
You didn't even put them on the passport.
No, I told you that.
Why not?
Because I pulled them out of... They weren't even on there, Jordy.
They were on Creative Cloud, no?
No, I didn't pull them off Creative Cloud. I don't think so. I pulled them off of like downloads or something. Most of those videos we had already posted.
Really? 'Cause everything in Creative Cloud was empty. I had to go put it all back. Fine,
Jordy's getting very feisty right now.
It's pretty good. I like it.
Very feisty. This is a very hostile work environment. I got to listen to Jordy yell at me all day long. So,
Awesome. No, but where I was going with that was I had this little. Me and Kate first got our first apartment together, and we went down to like Bushy's used furniture or something like that.
Yep.
So I went down there and I snagged it was a coffee table. We needed one for the apartment. So here I am, young kid moving out, first time. I get this coffee table and I bring it home, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to refinish this. So I go start stripping this thing down. I strip it down completely. It ends up being like oak and cherry mixed.
Really?
Yeah, it's still in my living room today.
You mean it was joined oak and cherry?
Yeah, it was 100%. I scored this thing. It looked like it was dragged down the road behind a truck when I picked it out. This was like $14 table, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been offered like over $160 for it a couple times.
You still have it?
Yeah, it's still right in the middle of my living room.
It has a live edge on it too?
No, it's actually a routed edge. It's nice.
Oh, really?
Old style table, but it's just
No, I think
super nice wood quality on it.
I used to do woodworking back in high school, junior high school, and I loved it. And then I got out of it because I couldn't fill it and put it in the schedule, and
It's time consuming.
It is, but it's part of me is like I like stuff that keeps my mind like simple.
Yeah.
Meaning, like mowing the lawn yesterday. It's another thing time wise. My son rides with me on the before I have to push around. So like to me, I love it. Like I wish I had twice the lawn just so I get to hang out with him. But it's just one of those deals. Like it's still kind of a calming. Like it's kind of a pain in the butt when you get started, but at a certain point you just kind of like you relax and you just kind of go, and it's nice to let your mind just wander, and you're out in the sun, and it's nice, especially right now with like not a lot of summer or long summers and stuff, so it's fun. But woodworking, hopefully, because I have a wood shop in my basement.
You do have one?
I bought it when I bought the house. The previous owner had a very good wood shop down there. He showed us some of the stuff he made. He was pretty good.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. He made a lot of cabinets and stuff. He matched a lot of their cabinets from what he had before, and like to the point where you would have thought he bought it off of from a manufacturer. Like it was beautiful.
Gotcha.
And he made a lot of other cool things too throughout the house, like dressers and chests and things. And he had this wood shop. It was beautiful, and he left me a couple saws, and I've added a few things to it, but I just haven't really gotten into actually using anything, which I have to. It's just I'm kind of working on this project first, kind of getting a couple things figured out, and then I'll probably
I'm really excited
open up
to
shop.
see what comes to that.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool.
I think it'll be awesome.
We're I don't know how long it will take us. I think our projection is sub 2 months is our goal.
Yeah,
which I think would be good. What time? Because we're gonna be doing it like on weekends or like evenings or something. Because it's not going to be too often. We both have stuff going on, but no, Ryan's nice enough to help me out on that, so that'll be fun. What do you guys, like I said, for the cleaning business? Is this something? I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. But are you, planning on expanding? Are you planning on? Because you talked about, potentially bringing on more people to kind of scale a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're as we continue to get more contracts, we're just going to grow with them essentially. So there's demand in both markets, residential and commercial. Mm-hmm. There's other demands, specialty demands we talked about, windows. Floor refinishing, hardwood floor refinishing. There's not a lot of people in the area doing it. There's a couple guys, but I mean, there's always needs. There's other roads you can take. Essentially, restorative cleaning is an option. Property management's a possibility. You can always sell paper products or supplies. There's a lot of people doing that right now. It's a little bit saturated, but
what's your Yeah, well, that's one thing. Like the paper products with the cleaning.
Yeah, there was a big debacle with that. I think like so WB Mason had this like a little bit of falling out, and there's just like people kind of went everywhere for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard, finding a supplier that was sturdy for a little while there.
The other day, so
they do pretty good by us so far. We use WB quite a bit.
So
we use a lot of local suppliers. We use Mac Janitorial.
Well, so WB, we met a bunch of the guys at the Business Expo, and there was like 50 of them. Well, probably not 50, but it felt like 50. They were out in force that day.
Yeah, which one? Tyler, you talking to Tyler?
Tyler was one of them.
Tyler, yeah, he took over for Josh when Josh left.
Do you know Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Tyler, we met him, nice kid. So we ended up going to, because we just got the office and we had a lot of space to fill and we needed stuff. Nicole needed some stuff. We needed a conference chairs and all this. So we ended up going to their like warehouse clearance sale or whatever, which happened a few weeks back.
Oh yeah.
Perfect timing. So it really was. We went in, Nicole's got a whole setup. It looks great. We got a conference room, all the chairs. They loaned us the table. We got a few other things, so everything's cool. And so they come to deliver it the other day. And Tyler comes, another guy comes, they're moving stuff in, and super nice guys, and we're chit-chatting, and he's like, hey, sorry, man, the owner's texting me. And I'm like, okay, not a big deal. Like, if you guys gotta get back to the office, not like you can. He goes, no, like the owner's texting me of WB Mason, not like of Plattsburgh, but like the head honcho. I'm like, have you met him before?
No, I've never met him.
And I'm like, oh, that's kind of odd. He's in Plattsburgh today. And he's like, yeah, he's really cool. I'm like, okay. And I think it's kind of like cool that the head top owner of this company.
It's a big company.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, he's like, yeah, we'll get you some other stuff if you guys want. I said, well, just give us your quote book and things like that. I'm sure we can, figure something out. And so about an hour and a half later, one of the other WB guys comes walking in, and this older guy comes in. I say older, he's probably about 60. It's the owner of WB Mason. So he comes up. He's from Boston. He's talking to us. He's got a Boston accent, and he tells us the story. And I'm like, wait, like the owner? He goes, yeah. He starts chit chatting. He goes, I think his great grandfather. I think it's his great grandfather started the business, or great grandfather. So they're like in their fourth generation of this company. And he was telling the history of it, which is really cool. So he ends up saying, he's like, yeah, so we passed $1 million in sales, then we passed 25 million, and he goes in 2000, I think he said last year or whatever the year was, he goes, we passed 1 billion, and he goes, I think he said next year we're on pace to pass $2 billion in sales, which is insane. And the guy's like standing there right in front of me. He talked to us for like, not exaggerating, not like moving out. He talked to us for a solid 20-25 minutes. Great guy. And he was talking about all the stuff he did, and then of course I gave him a Kavanaugh shirt. And
of course.
Yeah, of course. And he's like, man, he goes, I run a lot out near Boston. I'll totally wear it. So I guess he comes up here, so I'm gonna try to get him on the podcast.
He's probably Irish.
He is. Yep.
Yeah.
He's actually marrying a woman from Ireland.
There you go. Yeah,
very cool.
From Boston.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're all very thick accents.
You ever seen my hat I wear?
Yes, I have.
Boston Scally cap.
Yeah.
You should totally wear one.
You Irish?
Yeah.
I should wear one?
Yeah.
We have one for my son.
No, I mean it goes with the logo.
I know. I actually do have one of those hats.
I mean?
I bought one when we went to Ireland. I bought it was a cashmere one.
You've been?
Twice, yeah. And have you ever been?
No.
It's
planning to.
Incredible. I love it. If you had to tell me right now, like go to one place, I'd go to Ireland again. Like
really?
Again, yeah, I loved it. Just like what's my kind of like my weather. That's one thing. Like I don't want to go to like a beach or a sandy place and it's hot. Yeah. Like I want to go to Ireland. I don't mind the rain. I don't mind the overcast. Like I saw the sign the other day.
I don't like heat all that much either.
No, humidity kills me. I said this on the last podcast, but it's worth repeating. I saw this sign the other day where it said Pubs, the Irish sunscreen, which basically is like, that's my jam. Like, if it's sunny out, I'll go into an Irish pub and have a little bite to eat and a couple of drinks, and I'm good to go. So, but yeah, if you guys can ever get a chance to go to Ireland, if anybody can, it's amazing. It's such a fun country, beautiful landscape. Yeah, the people are so nice.
Amazing, man.
The food's great.
Everything's green.
Drink's great. Everything's green. I think they say it's 40 shades of green, and there's probably like 400 shades of green. It's amazing how beautiful that country is. But I think they did a lot of Game of Thrones there.
Did they?
was it Northern Ireland, I think.
Northern Ireland. It's kind of funny. I didn't really know. Like, I knew I was Irish, of course. I knew I was French too. I did the whole ancestry DNA thing a little
Oh yeah,
while
you
back.
told me this. Yeah.
I found out that I was 40% Irish, and I didn't get any. I don't believe I got anything from my mom's side of the family because my dad and I had the same genetic marker. It brought us back to County Tyrone, Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
My great grandmother came from there. She kind of funny story. She was the one that originally started the cleaning. So in a couple weeks, you might see something on our social media page. We're going to Middletown, and that was our first contract. It's now called Clemson's Brewery.
Okay.
They made hacksaw blades and lawnmower blades and giant, historical building in Orange County, New York. That was the first contract. So my great grandmother worked for them directly and cleaned their homes. She got sick with lung cancer, and my grandmother started the business, and that was her first contract when she got sick.
So your great grandmother's from Ireland.
Essentially, yeah, my great grandmother. Okay. Yeah, she's from British citizen. She's born in Belfast.
Yeah, my grandfather came from County Kerry, so it's kind of cool. Like we got to go back with him, which was really fun. That's like I was again saying on the podcast with Mike Cashman. That's like probably one of my most or best memories, just because it was cool to go back with him. Just because it's kind of a big part of that side of our family. But yeah, if you guys can go to Ireland, it is absolutely incredible.
Where's your favorite place
in Ireland?
Yeah.
We stayed in the county. I mean, we stayed in the countryside. Like we went. I had cousins in Killarney. We hung out there. I went to Dublin. I think one day maybe.
Castle.
There's castles. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to a couple castles. There was there's castles everywhere. You just like drive down the road and there's a castle out in the field. Like it's the most random thing. And of course we're like, oh my god, it's a castle. For them, it's just like it's like going by like an old foundation around here.
Right.
And but we stayed in Killarney. We went down to Cork. The one thing I didn't do is I never went up around the coast, which I would like to do, kind of see that. But to be honest, for the most part, we were just out in the country, and it was really cool. Got to go to the pubs, go to the restaurants, walk around the streets, the little shops. It wasn't commercialized. I mean, you had like vendors and small town shops and banks and stuff, but you weren't going like Dublin is a city.
Right. Belfast is another one. Yeah.
Belfast is a city. I mean, Killarney still has the old charm of a an old country.
Where was Craig? Was he in Matt? Is he Galway?
Who?
He went to Matt Craig.
He jumped around. Galway sounds right.
I think that's where he spent a lot of time. I think he said
because he went over a semester abroad, which
that's
I would have loved to have done that.
Western part of the island, right?
Galway. I believe so. I think Galway's near Clare, County Clare.
Yeah, I have family on
Cliffs
both sides
Moor.
that are from. I mean, seriously, just throw a handful of rocks at Ireland. I mean, they would be all over. But
oh, really?
Most of the concentrated genetic marks I had was from Tyrone, but there was from Antrim.
Yep.
And Cork as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where we branch out outside Kerry, but so Kerry's the southwesternmost county.
Okay.
So I don't know where we would branch out from there. I'm sure amongst that we were somewhere else too, but like that's where my entire family.
How's the food over there? Is it like?
Oh, it's great.
Is it? Do you actually have like traditional food like boxy and stuff like that? They actually
here or over there?
Over there.
Yeah, they had a bunch of stuff. Now, granted, like if you. One of my earliest memories was when we first got there. We took the red eye. It was like early in the morning. We stopped on the way home. We went to like eat breakfast, and they had eggs and things like that. The two things I remember is they had blood pudding. They also had cold baked beans, which I never understood, and it just grossed me out. Like I like baked beans, but it was cold baked beans in the morning for breakfast, and I was so tired.
Isn't that in like an English breakfast too?
I don't know. It was
a European thing.
It must be. It wasn't good. I mean, I would say it was good. It was just I like baked beans.
It's a texture thing. When they're cold,
when they're cold, I prefer to have them. Like if you, my mom makes this and it's phenomenal. It's like 3 different kind of beans with like bacon and like ground beef in it.
Oh yeah.
Mixed up. I can eat that cold all day long, but just cold baked beans, not for me. So that's good. I mean, if you go to like a pub or something, they have the shepherd's pie. They have they still have like bangers and mash because it's an English thing, but they'll bring it over. Fish and chips, they still have a lot of that. But what? Yeah, now it's ready.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming back to do that.
Oh, that's right. We're almost done. I gotta make it to Chipotle before it closes.
They close at 10.
At 10, I know it's 9. 8:55.
You get the bowl?
Yeah.
At Chipotle?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
What do you get at Chipotle? We'll skip the Ireland talk. I talked about it with Cashman a lot.
Did you?
But they have good food. What do you get at Chipotle? Back to what really matters.
Probably, we see chicken, brown rice, guac. Try to see what else I get in there. black beans.
Tonight,
It's usually pretty
I
solid.
guarantee you tonight I'm going to get double white rice. Always white rice. Double. I call it fajitas, but the peppers or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, to be honest, haven't ate much today. Probably get the double chicken. Load it right up.
Double white, double chicken.
Double white, double chicken, double veggies. So I double the whole left side. Then you go over to all the other sides. I always get mild.
I'm going to do this next time I go in there. You know that.
Yeah, mild, medium. I literally go this: mild, medium, corn, cheese, guac, and lettuce. Right across. The only thing I don't get is I don't get sour cream. I don't get the hot salsa.
Okay.
And that's it. Guaranteed. It's going to be a nice like $13 extra bowl right there.
That's all right.
Solid. It's
But it's
totally
good,
worth
though.
it.
It's
It'll
dead
fill me
stuff.
up.
Yeah.
It'll fill me up. We'll get those calories in that I haven't
When I
had
was out
today.
working one day, I went in. I just had a normal sized bowl. I was like,
It's
it
just
was
not the
good,
same.
but it wasn't there.
You know-
I had a void. I still needed to fill.
When I was back before, this was before Plattsburgh opened. I would go down to Albany to visit my sister. She was down in she went to school down there, and I would drive down, and that day 100% was getting Chipotle. I would go down because we didn't have it, and I used to always get the salad, meaning I just didn't get white rice. I never get beans. I don't think I've ever gotten beans at Chipotle. And I didn't want rice. Like I just wanted the salad with the veggies and just throw everything on top because I just kind of was like a taco salad kind of thing.
Yeah.
And for like the longest time, I would eat it and it was great. And then I started adding the rice in it. It's so much more dense to it. So I'm like, okay. Especially now, I'm like, I need to get the rice in. I don't like the brown rice. I like the white rice. I like the cilantro.
Right.
But man, yeah, Chipotle's solid. I'm in about 20 minutes from now, I'll be driving home with a nice big old heavy bowl of Chipotle salsa.
You going to get some for the boss too?
No, she's probably getting ready to go to bed. I think yeah. Every once in a while, sometimes she'll text me, she might get Chipotle tonight. But my favorite, Ryan Lee asked me this. He goes, if you could have one meal for like, I forgot if he said it was the last meal or if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, like over and over again, mine might be Chipotle. If I had to pick one thing, because there's a lot of flavors to it, like maybe I don't know if it has to be the exact, but can I just like mix and match that kind of thing? Because like a steak bowl and chicken bowl might be a little different,
Right.
Or carnita.
Carnita's good too.
But the only other one that was even close to that I could think of off the top of my head was sushi.
Sushi?
I'm a big sushi guy. Love it. Do you get sushi?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever had sushi?
I have, but I still I don't like uncooked fish all that much.
Oh, I love it, dude.
You know what I mean?
If Yama's open right now, which I don't think they are, that
Is that place good? I've never been there.
Love it. Yama, best place in Plattsburgh.
Is it?
I mean, there's only two. There's there in Kodo, but I'm not everybody, and I think most people will agree, the sushi at Yama's better. I think if you go and get like all the hibachi and things like that, I think they have more options at Kodo.
Right.
But I never get hibachi. I always get sushi.
You ever seen the reviews for Cafe Himalaya right next door?
Yeah, that's
That
good
place is
too.
off the chart.
That's good.
for the reviews in that place. I've never been there either.
Not my. I don't like it as much.
Right.
You know what I really like is sawadi.
Oh yeah, that place.
Sawadi. Give me the God, what they call kugai.
Yeah.
Give me a kugai with some pork on that. I get kugai with pork and I get chicken satay every single time. It is my favorite.
My wife won't. She doesn't like the curry and the.
No, kugai doesn't have the curry.
It doesn't?
They call it the brown. They call it like a brown sauce, but it literally is just like a bunch of. It's like a bunch of like udon noodles with pork and some veggies and stuff in it. It's really good.
I'll try that.
It's got. I think it's called brown sauce, but it's not like. I don't like sauce. Like I don't like if you go to like a curry place or you go somewhere and it's just sitting like you go to like Sesame Chicken.
It can be overpowering. Yeah,
and it's just
absolutely.
sitting in sauce. I can't stand like that crappy like. Like a Jade or something.
Yeah.
I don't like
It makes
that.
you feel like a cheap buffet type meal.
I get sick. I always get sick to my stomach when I go to one of those places. But if I can go, like, give me sawadi, the brown, like it's a light like it's flavor, but it's not sitting there. It's cooked. It's cooked well.
I'll have to make you almost like Adirondack Chipotle there sometime. I take venison a lot, and
It'd be phenomenal.
like a hind steak, but I put it in basmati rice because I
Yep.
eat a lot of basmati.
Yep.
And then like a mixed vegetable, like you're saying.
Do you have any sauce on it?
Not usually. Not usually. I cook it in like
I know.
I cook it in like a sauce, if you will. I mean, it's like a light sauce, almost like a dry rub, but I let it make its own juices and stuff.
Would venison taste good? It probably is. If you drizzled that with like a teriyaki sauce.
Oh yeah, you could do that. Guys do it all the time.
Like-
Soy sauce. Guys use soy.
Well, because like teriyaki is obviously sweet, but like with basmati and like mixed vegetables
I'm
and
sure
like
it
a
would
little bit
be.
of meat,
Sure, it would be.
I bet you that's a solid meal. It's always good when you get. I got a friend. He's a fairly good cook. He's make like this potato stew curry.
Yeah.
Amazing. And the
Good.
day we had it, he also made chicken teriyaki on the side.
Did he?
He's Asian, so that go. I mean, I don't know what it is, but he figured out the curry teriyaki combo. It was good.
Those guys
Oh
can
yeah,
cook a lot of times,
he was a master with that. But my God, it was good. And yeah, if you can do it like teriyaki, not too much. The other thing too is if you go to Hannaford's, they got these like, I think they call them like half-hour mixes or something. It's marinade.
Okay.
You put it in a bag, mix it up. So we've been doing like it's real. I mean, really freaking good. You take like just a chicken breast.
Yep.
And you dice the chicken breast lengthwise. So you flip it top to bottom.
Right.
So they're kind of like these long strips. Throw it in a baggie. You don't even need a lot of it. Just throw enough to cover everything so it's not like saturated. Let it sit for, it says 30 minutes to an hour, totally fine. Pull it out, put it on the grill and cook it. It is so freaking tender. And it's teriyaki. It's literally teriyaki chicken. But it's about as clean of teriyaki chicken as you're going to ever make.
Okay.
And it's you just grill it and like you fry it and it comes off. You could eat that whole thing because it's just got that a little bit of sweetness and a little, like that flavoring. Amazing.
That's awesome.
I don't know what it's called.
I'll check it out.
I'll send you the bottle.
Is it like a Lowry's or?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Lowry's
I was
30
going
minute.
to say Lowry's, but it's a teriyaki one. It's really good. You wouldn't think so because like, it's out of this bottle, but we've done that a few times out of that thing. It's so freaking good.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's going to say it's got cancer properties in or something. I don't know. It's phenomenal. I'll do it every
Tastes
single
good.
time. Yeah,
Tastes good.
that's all it is. So, Zach, so we can get out of here and you can get home.
Yeah, sure.
Or you can go work out or whatever you're going to do now.
Eat and then work out.
Eat and then work out. There you go. So I did this last one, and I think I'm going to ask you. I'm taking a book out of Ryan Lee's podcast page, but I'm not as structured. But like 3 questions for you.
Go for it.
What is the hardest part about owning your own business?
Juggling.
Just everything?
Juggling. Yeah. It's just like adapting constantly. So as it, everything comes at you all at once, it seems like. And, in our situation, we have a team, my wife and I, kind of tackle it together. But at the same time, it's like she does her thing, I do my thing. We each have our area of operation, if you will.
Do you find that
kind of keep everything happy?
Like every day is just a mixture of, I find every single day is like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
It's going up and it's going down. It's good, bad.
Dancing in the rain, man.
But man, you're just trying to keep it on the tracks all day long.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not like overly stressful. I used to get overly stressed in the beginning, but now it's just like, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? So,
yeah. I find people that own their own business have a very good perspective on things because they, like me, I don't get down very often. It takes a lot. Like I had a client today text me out of the blue and say, we are backing out of the house. They can keep our escrow, but we don't want it anymore. Okay. Well, good talk. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like what
that's
do you do?
not a good text to get, but I literally looked at it, read it, said, okay, thanks, on to the next thing. Like, I'll get to it. But it's just one of those things, like when things like hit the fan kind of thing. So like there, you lose however many, sides of a deal and everything else. And I kind of look at it like, it's not the end of the world. Nobody died. Yeah, I'm sure one of the clients is going to get pissed at me for some reason. And it is what it is. You take it, you bounce it off the shoulder, you move on.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you don't do anything wrong, you're all good. Second question, what is the best part about owning your own business?
I think it's probably satisfaction. You know what I mean? The self-satisfaction of, you're driving your brand, you're growing this baby of yours, and, seeing everything come full circle finally, seeing the work pay off, and it's also the scariest thing I've ever done in my life, I'd probably say.
Yeah.
It's the most risk I've ever taken.
Yeah.
Followed by the highest reward.
Yeah, that's what I also find too, is that anybody that does any like entrepreneurship is just, it's a high risk, high reward. Like there's times you're stressed to the max.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether it be financial, whether it be just time, whether it be whatever, family. And then it has some of the best payoffs when all the work's put in. But like you said, I think satisfaction's it. Like when you realize that like the late hours, the stress, the, low financial points, all that stuff gets bundled up and you get through it and you just keep grinding and grinding and grinding. And I think if you have a positive mindset and just like 100% belief in yourself,
that's why I work out.
Yeah, then you're gonna make
Keep
you
your
can make
head
it happen.
right. You know
That's
what I
it. Yeah, it really is. Blow
And then-
steam off.
Blow steam off, and then you just look at the end goal, and that's build something we can be proud of, and hopefully give to our daughter one day.
Yeah, that's and last thing, sign us off. What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote. It's going to be on my website, so I'm going to probably quote this almost word for word. It's a C.S. Lewis quote. Integrity. Definition of integrity, says C.S. Lewis, is doing the right thing even when no one's watching.
Perfect. Love it. So, all right. So for Zach and myself, and actually before we sign off, Zach, how can people find you?
You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Spar-Kil-Kleen, no hyphens, and soon to be www.spar-kil-kleen.com.
Perfect. All right. So for Zach and myself, that is episode 39 of the Gaelan Trombley Show. Thanks for listening to the Gaelan Trombley Show. If you want to reach me, you can go on Facebook at Gaelan Trombley, on Instagram at Gaelan Trombley, and on YouTube at Gaelan Trombley. The spelling, Gaelantrombley. Welcome to the Gaelan Trombley Show. You can find me on Facebook at Gaelan Trombley, on Instagram at Gaelan Trombley, and on YouTube at Gaelan Trombley. Spelling, Gaelantrombley. Enjoy the show.